What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up to all of my friends and family? How y'all feeling today? What's the word? Man, it seemed like it's Wednesday, but it's Tuesday. Tuesday, June 3rd. 2026 year of our Lord. Lots going on in the streets, man, and we got to get to it. So it's going to be a information-filled show. I see somebody is mentioning Ford. Obviously, I like to jump around a little bit when it comes to the things that you guys are hearing and want to talk about versus the things that I have prepared to talk about. So, interesting day. Very, very hot everywhere. What's going on, friends? How y'all feeling today? I see Sabrina, Jesse, K. Cooper, Leah. What up, though? Chris Cunningham. It is Tuesday, Chris. Onaka, DJ Ace Productions said Taco Tuesday. What up to everybody? I hope everybody is keeping cool. It is hot. What up, Long Way? What up, Onaka? What up, everybody in the chat? What up to all of my friends and family? Phoenix, I see you. What's going on? What's up to everybody that can't necessarily type in the chat? I know some of y'all may have me on the TV. Some people might be restreaming this. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting the platform and supporting the show. You know what I'm saying? Does not go unnoticed. Does not go unnoticed. I got elevator today with some fine thing. I said, oh, okay. All right, I see you. I see. You know what's so funny? When it get warm outside, you get to see what these chicks really look like in real life. Even in their work clothes. They be smelling good, looking moisturized, and they be stressed out about having to go to work. Ain't got enough money and stressing about the fact that they got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it like that on the Millionaire Morning though. QD Executive Suite MLE. You know, I gotta censor it for the people. 92 today in West Michigan. All right, let me see what the temperature is like out here. I know it's hot everywhere, but I'm not tripping about that. It's gonna be 94 today, 96 tomorrow, 95 Thursday, 91 Friday. In Detroit. It feel like it. It definitely feel like it. Summer is mating season for humans. All seasons are all, all seasons are mating seasons. I don't know when we don't have mating calls. You know what I'm saying? That's cool for y'all in the South. That's why. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. The South I can't do the South proper. Let me say it like that. I can't do the South proper because, and it's only one reason. It's only one reason. Can anybody in the chat guess why we cannot officially move to the South? We can visit, we can stay in the wintertime, but we can't move to the South. And anybody that knows me knows the exact reason why. Anybody that knows me knows the exact reason why. Yep, you know it. You know it. Y'all got some of the most atrocious bugs all throughout the US. You guys are the bug capital. Texas, Florida, y'all are the devil. I don't know why y'all think that it's cool to hang out with rodents and bugs. That's one of the main things that's wrong with New York City. I can handle the heat. The heat is cool. I'm cool with the heat. I can't do cockroaches. I can't do water bugs, which is the same thing as cockroaches. I can't do I just can't, bro. And they never die. They just grow and they grow and they grow and they grow. And then Florida got the nerve to be having alligators. Florida got the nerve to have alligators on top of it. I said, all right, cool. Nope. I could deal with the ninjas. I could deal with the crime. I can deal with hood rats. I can deal with a lot of things. I can deal with a lot of things. I can't deal with the rodents. I can't deal with the roaches. I can't. And y'all think y'all so normalized down there with it that y'all just think that it's cool. Oh no, that's just a water bug. That's a roach. It's a roach. I can't, bro. I can't. That's my cutoff point. That's why you'll never have to worry about me going to Texas or Florida permanently. You go to Florida, and it don't matter what part of Florida you in, maybe outside of Jacksonville. But even if you in Orlando, Miami, Tampa, everybody got these big overarching protections in their background or over their pool. And so you think to yourself, because hey, listen, this is the one of the one places where you can swim all year long, or you can be out on the water. So it makes sense to be able to buy a boat. And you see all of these protections in their backyard over their pool, and you like, oh man, what y'all got a lot of crime? And they're like, nah, we got alligators. What? Yeah, man, we got to do that for the gators. And they can climb. They can climb. Um, they can climb fences. What? Yeah, man, they can climb fences too. So we got to do a protection over the whole thing. And y'all got roaches? Nah. That's why. That's another reason why I'm a city boy. Okay, Cooper. It's another reason why I'm a city boy. The reason, and not a city boy like city girl, but a city boy like I prefer to be in the city because you're less likely to run into wild animals. Listen, y'all might as well go to Africa. Y'all genuinely should just go to Africa because the way that y'all interact with nature amuses me. It's amazing. It genuinely is amazing the way y'all embrace bugs and roaches and gators and bears. That's another thing, like going to Tennessee. If you go to Tennessee, I forgot what it's called, Big Rock, Great Bear Lodge, something like that, all of that stuff. And you see these videos, and one of the things you do, because we used, I would rent a cabin sometimes, and me and my friends, we would go up, and the family would go up, and we would go and rent these lodges and these cabins over in Tennessee and stuff. And they like, but just be careful not to leave no food out because the bears will come and get it. What? What do you mean the bears are coming getting it? Nah. Nah. That's why I like the city. In the city, the mosquitoes are not as fire. The less You can run into a ninja that's trying to steal your car, but you ain't got to worry about no alligator coming to attack you. Nah. You said you'd rather run into wild animals than people? Yeah, okay. Until you run into them. I can reason with people. I can't reason with an animal. Oh, no, don't get me, mountain lion. No, don't take my life. Nah. Yeah, Gatlinburg. That's what it is. Give me a nice city with a population and some buildings where I know that it's likely that somebody's seen the gator before I did. So, you know, I'm straight. I'm straight, bro. I know lizards and iguanas. I be seeing them. And they be like, oh, that's just a lizard. We don't got lizards. We got that's the whole reason for winter. Winter is to cleanse ourselves of all of the nonsense that we don't need. It's to prevent roaches from looking like people. That's the whole reason behind winter. Oh man, I can't do the cold. I can. I can do it. I take it. Shout out to Mimi. Mimi only answers her phone between the hours of 9 and 5. Oh. Shout out to Mimi. Let me read some of these Cash App super chats. Matter of fact, before we even get into that.
I've been living in Germany for 8 years, and I still do not.
Well, you know what? Hold on. Let's do this.
It is 100 degrees.
Let's do this. Before I get to that, Jenny. Y'all like Seneca? The Roman philosopher? What y'all know about Seneca? You know about Seneca? Shortly existed in Rome shortly after the death of Christ.
I've been living in Germany for 8 years, and I still do not understand the AC situation here. It is 100 degrees today, and nowhere has AC still. Restaurants, nope. Hospitals, nope. Shops, nope. What will it take to get ACs?
Just a reminder, more Europeans die every year from heat-related illness than Americans do from gun violence. That's a real fact. You can look it up. So don't let any of these Europeans tell you that they can't install AC in their buildings, right? They've installed plumbing before, they've installed electricity, they can install air conditioning, but their ignorance doesn't let them. And so they have more people that die from heat than gun violence. Make it make sense.
One thing the World Cup has taught me is that Americans might be onto something with this air conditioning stuff. Because growing up in Britain, we always treated air conditioning like a luxury. You'd hear things like, oh, you don't need all that, just open a window. And up to a point, that was reasonable advice, until climate change reached its super cyan form. Now, every time I turn on the news, it's day 3 of the unprecedented heat wave, aka summer. And then we spend the next week melting in our homes, moaning it's too hot. I have to say, after experiencing air conditioning in Miami, I get it. I'm not asking for the world. Sometimes progress is just being able to sleep at night.
This is a public service announcement that the heat wave in Paris is really bad. If you haven't seen, it's been, I want to say like minimum 5 days where it's been hot as hell. There's no AC anywhere except like really big buildings like department stores. And even if you try to go to a coffee shop to like escape the heat, you can't. There's no AC there either. The metro doesn't have AC. Like it's 7 p.m. right now. It's 107 degrees Fahrenheit, 42 degrees Celsius. It's impossible to breathe.
Did y'all know that there are a lot of countries, including the majority in Europe, majority cities in Europe that do not even believe in AC? A lot of people did not know that. A lot of people are not familiar with that. In Europe, most places do not believe in AC. They have been conditioned to believe that AC is not natural and that you will die. And most people die. More people die from AC or heat exhaustion than gun violence over in Europe. And there's more countries outside of Europe that don't believe in air conditioning. And so it's a luxury. If you go and visit Europe in the summertime, y'all got to start researching these places before y'all go to it. Most places outside of the U.S., and this is how you know that we're spoiled. We're very, very spoiled here in the U.S. because we have luxuries and we have normalcies that's not normal in other countries. And so a lot of people that are visiting here from the World Cup, a lot of people that are visiting here from other countries, they like, wait a minute, you guys are living in luxury. Luxury. You guys are living a life that we don't know of. Give us free. What? Who was that on that nag? Most places, if you go and look up a place like a lot of times if I go to another country, I'll visit, or if I'm looking at visiting another country, I'll look up and say, well, when is the best time to visit? The reason why I'm looking at the best time to visit is because if you go to the Louvre, for example, if you go to some of these places, it's lines that's wrapped around a building. There are certain times where climate change is not ideal. If you go over to Japan during the rainy season or the typhoon season or whatever, it'll be raining every single day. The plane tickets is going to be costing an extraordinary amount. People will be off from school and they'll be off from work and vacation, and everybody is going to visit at the same time. So when you go to these other countries, a lot of times you have to look at when the best time is to visit, right? And in Europe, and a lot of Europe, they say don't come in the summertime because the heat is sweltering and the temperature is rising in Europe. Now, Europeans traditionally have been conditioned to believe that air conditioning is bad. And so they don't believe in most buildings were built without air conditioning. You can't dip off in a restaurant. You can't dip off in a coffee shop. You can't dip off in this building and think that you're going to get relief. They just deal with it. They deal with it just like over in Africa. And if it get 100 degrees, it just get 100 degrees. You just sweat. And these foreigners, they don't believe in the same cleanliness that we believe in over in the U.S. Don't think it for a minute. Hey, listen. They come over here and don't even wear deodorant. And they just be walking around, toes be out, smelling just like outside. That's one of the ways in which I'm able even to plan how I'm going to ride my motorcycle. All right, cool. So when I get there, that means that I'm going to have to take a shower. Because even if you ride with your windows down too long, you're going to smell like outside. Now you jump on a motorcycle on top of that, and you got all of the wind and all of the elements and stuff all on you. You're going to be smelling like outside. Now imagine, compound that with the fact that a lot of people that's not from here don't wear deodorant. Don't wear deodorant. You remember the old AC units that you can buy at the hardware store and you can put it inside of your window? And on some buildings, a lot of older buildings, you can look in the windows and you can see people that got AC units inside of their windows. And if you go to some other countries, a lot of times they'll have the AC unit inside of your hotel room or whatever. They don't just have regular central air. They'll have an actual AC unit either up and on the wall, or they'll have it in the window like the old school. And I used to think that was just the 70s and the 80s and the 90s thing. But then I realized that we're just spoiled. We're super spoiled here in the US, right? We got tankless water heaters to where it instantly heat up. Back in the day, if somebody got, I remember back in the day on these older houses, if you flushed the toilet while somebody was inside of the shower would get too hot. Ah, man, what are you doing? Stop it. That was one of the pranks that we would play. Wait till somebody get in the shower, then flush the toilet. And then when you flush the toilet, you know that the water is gonna get super hot, and then they just gonna be sitting there on the side of the tub like, oh man, what are you doing? Why are you flushing the toilet while I'm in the shower? We used to get the luxury houses had multiple big water heaters so that you don't run out of water when there's multiple people living in this bigger house. Now, we use tankless water heaters. It ain't even no big water heater. It's the mug is on the wall. It's about as big as a screen, a huge screen. See the hot and cold running through it. You never run out of hot water, ever. Goes in, turns hot instantly, and it's just rocking. Multiple different thermostats depending on what floor you on. It used to be here in the US and we was ahead of everybody else. It used to be you got one thermostat. Now, if you got a basement, some of y'all are in the South, so y'all don't know nothing about basements. But if you got a basement or you got an upstairs, the upstairs, because heat rises, is always going to be hotter than the downstairs, and the basement is going to be colder than the upstairs, right? So you got 3 floors, the basement, the main floor, and the upstairs is sweltering. And so if anybody changes it, right? If anybody changes the temperature and you say, oh man, it's too cold in here. And so you change the temperature, that means the person in the upstairs is going to be baking, and the person in the downstairs, they're going to be a lot more comfortable. Now, in the US, everybody, hey, listen, I'm not looking at that home if it ain't got central air. I'm not looking at that if it doesn't have central air. What? Does it have a Nest thermostat to where I can program it and change it on my device? Will it learn me? Will it learn me? Somebody says there's basements in the South. Okay, listen. When we talk about the South, it's not applicable to every place in the South, because some of y'all not even in the real South. You in the pretend South, right? The South in Mississippi is different than the South in Atlanta. The South in Southern Florida is much different than the South in Arkansas, okay? Alabama is different than Houston. Houston is different than Louisiana, all right? A lot of y'all in the South don't have basements. It's just the facts. And a lot of y'all's houses is on stilts because you're in the flood zone. Some of us have been conditioned. People in Louisiana, they deal with a different type of heat and a different type of humidity. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. But we spoiled. We're spoiled in the US, yet we complain about the basics. The basics. We complain about things because we don't know what other people are dealing with in their countries.
People are still not wearing deodorant, which is a problem. Today it's supposed to be the hottest day, tomorrow as well, and then it's supposed to cool down by 1 or 2 degrees. But this is going to be going on for like 10 days. Apparently people have died. It's really, really bad. There's no stock whatsoever in all of Paris of AC units, like the little detachable ones that you can like roll around your house that you need like a tube for, the tube that like hangs out the window. No stock of AC units. There's a line outside of the Dyson store. I heard every day for people waiting for restocks, hotter in France this week than it is in 98% of the rest of the world or something like that. So it's crazy. So if you have friends in Paris, send them ice because they need it.
As you may know, Europe is now going through a heat wave. Temperatures are reaching way above 100 degrees. It is literally unbearable. Thousands of people have already died, especially the elderly. And the other day I called my grandmother, who lives in Czechia, my birth country, and I told her how is she putting up with it and what is she doing to make herself colder. And I suggested, why don't you get air conditioning? She goes, oh no, I would never do that. I would rather die of heat than install air conditioning in my home. And I go, well, that's a very irrational belief. And she's not the only one. Most people in Czech, especially the older generation, have a very negative stance towards air conditioning and unnatural ventilation. And this traces back to humoral medicine or folk medicine from like the 18th, 17th centuries in Europe, where uncontrolled wind was said to contribute to hardship for the body, and it was hard for the body to regulate the temperature, and it would get the body out of equilibrium. And so the remedy was stay inside, don't get exposed to natural elements like wind, and you'll get better. And so this sort of inherited belief has carried on for centuries, despite science moving on and obviously proving this inherited belief wrong. It's still part of the culture, and you can't just remove it from the culture, right? It has been practiced for centuries, and so a lot of the older generation now in Central Eastern Europe is very much against air conditioning.
This just tells you that everything, or not everything, but most things that people believe is socially engineered. It's not because you know it to be right. It's because this is what you're used to dealing with and what you're used to talking about. And so a lot of people think that, oh man, well, this is what we've been doing for a long time, and so I'm unwilling to change. I'm unwilling to change. People have beliefs from centuries ago. Science has proved it differently, but they willing to die before they ever take in any what they would call artificial air. They don't believe in air conditioning in a lot of these European places. As insane as that may sound, they don't believe in air conditioning. It's wild. And they are dying left and right. It's getting hotter. I just couldn't imagine having to sit and suffer out of ignorance. I wouldn't be able to sit over there and suffer out of ignorance at all. And so again, this is why you go and visit some of these places in the fall. You go and visit some of these places in the spring. The worst time to visit Disney World, in my opinion, in Florida is in the summertime. The worst time to visit Universal Studios is in the summertime. A lot of people go to Miami, for example, in the summertime. And I'm like, why would you go to Miami in the summertime? And it's sweltering. The best time to visit Miami is after November, after hurricane season, after the weather then calmed down a little bit. Is less humidity. The bugs aren't as crazy and as rapid. And you can actually enjoy 80-degree weather in December and January. And so you can endure through certain things. But, nope, I'm not built for it. It's not my thing. And I love the good old US of A. Somebody says it doesn't seem ignorant to them, AD, is because it's all they've ever known until they get exposed to something different, which is one of the reasons why people that are here for the World Cup are so invested and obsessed with the U.S. is because they have options. It's because they do have air conditioning inside of their Airbnb and inside of every restaurant and every coffee shop. It's not sweltering in there. And they go and visit and they can see the downtowns and they can see that the people are nice. And it's not as bad when you get outside and you interact with people as usual. We're socially conditioned here to believe whatever it is that we believe. It's a lot of people that ain't never been outside of their hood here. It's a lot of people that have never been outside of their hood, but they got a lot to say about what happens in culture. It's a lot of people that don't even understand the South the way that you think that they do. They've lived there or they've lived in their little city for a long time. They got the internet. They get to come onto the Millionaire Morning Show and have a conversation inside of the chat. And I've been to more places in the South than they have, but they'll sit here and tell me that I'm not aware of what goes on in the South. Okay. You ain't never been outside of your city. You ain't never been outside of your state. You don't know nothing except for your neighborhood. Yet you know more about the South because you've lived in this small block, this 8-block radius, and you've never been outside of your city. I know people in Houston that ain't never been to Dallas or Austin or San Antonio. Keep it at 100. If you say the Midwest is large, right? Some people in Chicago ain't never been to Milwaukee. Some people in Chicago ain't never been to Cleveland, right? It's people in Michigan ain't never been to Indianapolis. They've been to Chicago. They ain't never been to Cleveland. They've been to Toledo. They've been to Sandusky to go to Cedar Point, but they've never been to all of the places in the Midwest. There's people in the West. There's people over in Los Angeles. They ain't never really been to other parts of California, let alone Vegas, Arizona, all of these other places, Sacramento. They ain't never been to these places. They've never been, bro. Never been. But they got so much to say. They're uncultured. They don't know any better. And they think that they're the ruler of their 3 blocks. And that makes them relevant. I don't think you can speak on behalf of a whole coast unless you visited most of that coast. If I visited more of the coast than you have, then you don't know nothing about the coast. It's people that visit cities and they know more about those cities than the people that live there. Go and talk to some people in Miami. They don't know nothing about nothing that's going on in Miami. Not in the other parts of Miami. Because it's 2 different Miamis. It's 3 different Miamis. It's the Miami Beach. And then you got the visitor Miami as far as Brickell and the design district and all of that. And then you got the other Miami where people go to Walmart and they never go to the beach. And they live in Little Haiti and all of those other type of places. And they don't know nothing about it. They don't go to the beach every day. They don't go downtown. They don't go and visit. Most of the people in Detroit, they don't know nothing about downtown. If you ask most people that live in Detroit, they couldn't get around downtown without a navigation, without Apple Maps or Google Maps or Waze. They have to put it in. It's people that live in the city that have to put in their location, put in the location of where they're trying to visit because they don't know nothing about downtown. They don't know how to get around. If you say, hey, man, if you ask them for directions and say, hey, how do you get to the Charles H. Wright Museum? Or how do you get to Campus Martius? Or how do you get to anywhere outside of Belle Isle? They couldn't tell you. They could not point you in the right direction at all. Hey, how do you get to the Michigan train station? Without looking it up in your phone, without putting it in your phone. They can't tell you. It's people that use GPS to go to work every day in the same cities that they live in. Have no clue. No clue whatsoever. I know people in their 50s and their 60s that hasn't been that live in the city, hasn't been downtown in years since before COVID. Don't even know what it looked like. I remember one time I was in my grandmother's house, and we would all gather over grandmother's house on like Sundays after church and stuff like that. And people was talking about, the city and what was going on. And I was like, it's not true. It's not true. It looked completely different. And we had to take somebody literally and take them to visit the city because they hadn't been there in years, and they were giving their opinion based off of what they remember in the 90s. And they live in the Metro Detroit area, but they've never been. They don't know it's an Apple store. They don't know where GM headquarters are. They don't know about the Ralph C. Wilson Park. They don't know nothing. They don't know about all of the different buildings. They ain't never seen the Hudson building. They don't see Cosm about to open up in the fall. They don't know none of this stuff. And it's the same in every city. Go to every city. Most people are not familiar unless they are forced to go downtown for work or forced to go into the city for work. They are completely removed. They have nothing, no insight whatsoever on what's going on in the cities. And they live on the internet. And all of the information that they get is based off of what they see other people talking about on social media. All of them. What you see on social media, other people talking. And so it's easy for them to assume. It's easy for them to assume, but they don't have no clue at all on what's happening in the culture and in the city. They don't know about the DeQuinder cut. They don't know about all of the parties. They don't know about the alley. They ain't never even been to the Gucci store. They don't know about the new shop, and they don't know about nothing. They don't know about the Shinola Hotel. They don't know about anything. And then they come down here and they be like, oh, wow. Wow. Because everything is different. Everything is different. So how can you expect anybody from out of town to understand what's going on? You don't even know what's going on. The world is big. America is big. America is massive. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats and the cash apps, and then we'll get it popping. I like these longer shows. Takes a lot more to do, but the longer shows are awesome. I want to say shout out to Spencer Campbell. He says, good morning, AD and the Bag Chasers. God bless. What up, Spence? Yeah, they ain't never been to Gillies. Mike that dude. What up to Mike that dude? I appreciate you. John Teal said this is for the productive women. Oh. Let me read some of these super chats. Boston Blob says, Anton, did you see the story of the boy that's 10 years old that faces first-degree murder charge for shooting a 7-month-old dead? Chat. Boston Bob says, did I see the story of the 10-year-old boy that faced first-degree murder for shooting a 7-month-old? Somebody else also came in and they said, oh my God, you started early today. Oh, man. Let me read some of the super chats. I don't know. What up to Coach Chris? Coach Chris with the super sticker in the building. I appreciate you, Coach. What would you tell teenage AD about money? Nothing. I would just let him go through it. I don't think that there's anything that we don't already know. I think it's just the experiences that we haven't had. So you got to know what it feels like to have $100,000 in cash. You got to know what it feels like to have $1,000,000 inside of your account. You got to know what it feels like to be able to go into a store and buy anything that you want. You got to know what it feels like to go out and do some of the things. It's just certain things you gotta experience for yourself. So nothing in particular. I wouldn't say anything. Trade A says, "What do you think about GTA running the numbers up? What's your thoughts?" I believe let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. So I'm very glad that you asked this question because I forgot to cover this the other day. All right. So GTA has been in development. GTA 6 has been in development for over 10 years. 10 years. And I could appreciate that because it tells me that they're not just rushing it out for profit. They're actually trying to put out the best product possible, right? But GTA has been in development for the better part of over 10 years, right? And they've made a crazy amount of money in their pre-orders, okay? So they saying that they made or already pre-sold over 39 million pre-orders. That has nothing to do with in-game purchases. That has nothing to do with the people that's going to buy it after it comes out, any of that type of stuff. It says more than a decade in the making. This is according to Men's Journal. More than a decade in the making, Grand Theft Auto 6 is one of the most highly anticipated video games of all time. And the early financial figures are already proving it. While it's still months away from its November release date, the game opened for pre-orders on June 25th. Now, this was written 2 days ago. So this was written on June 28th. This was on the third day after pre-orders. And a report suggests that the game has made an absolutely eye-popping amount of money in its first hour. It says that after pre-orders opened, after decades of development and delays, as of June 25th, the game can be pre-ordered from the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store, as well as select online and physical retailers such as Amazon and GameStop. The game is launching with both a digital and physical copy. However, there will be no discs inside of the physical copy, and it will just be a code in the box. Now, I'm going to get to that in a minute because this tells you, and this is one of the type of things that we talk about in Stock Club, is that this tells you that retailers such as GameStop are going away because there is nothing physical to be sold outside of the console itself. But that's another conversation, right? Pre-ordering any version of the game will give customers the vintage Vice City pack, which includes the 1980s themed nostalgic items, apparel, and vehicles. It's worth noting that there's no real advantage to pre-ordering the digital version of the game. This far in advance, customers could pre-order a game the day before its release and still get the pre-order bonus. So it doesn't matter when you pre-order it, but the fact that everybody, over 39 million people pre-ordered it, is crazy. While the Grand Theft Auto 6 had an astounding number of pre-orders, reportedly surpassing 39 million copies sold already. And they're saying that it's going to cost between $80 and $100. So we know that most people are going to get the big pack, right? The $100 pack. But just for the sake of conversation, let's say that you're going to get just a cool conversation, right? It's easier to multiply. Let's say you're buying it for $100. Let's put it at, because I'm pretty sure it's well over 39 million orders, but let's just say 40 million. That means that they've already made $4 billion in pre-orders. $4 billion in pre-orders just for GTA. And again, that has nothing, zero to do with any in-game purchases and all of that stuff, right? $4 billion in one day on pre-orders. Let me get to the rest of the article. It sounds like overall financial impact is greater than that. In a recent analysis of Take-Two Interactive's financial activity suggests the company actually generated $1 billion within an hour of pre-orders going live, highlighting the massive success the game is already having. Anthony Palamba, a researcher and professor at the University of Virginia's Darden School of Business, estimates that the stock gains in the first hour alone after the pre-orders went live suggest an increase of about $1 billion in revenue. Take-Two shares rose almost 3% in early trading when pre-orders opened, and some analysts modeled as much as $1 billion in revenue in the first hour alone. Needless to say, it sounds like the game is already successful and won't even be released for a few more months. So it doesn't come out to the fall. All right? GTA doesn't even come out to the fall, but they've already made a substantial amount, more than $4 billion for the game. Now, you know what's so interesting, Low Man? Because you said it. You just said it. You know what's so interesting about this? I also thought that everybody is crying a poor mouth. So when you ask me what I think about it, I think that either everybody is capping and or people find money to do the things that's important to them. Because they going to find the money to do anything and everything. That they got to buy the console. They got to make sure that they get the pre-order. You got to have the internet to go along with it. And you got to have a girlfriend that don't bother you. Yet, y'all crying about gas prices. You're crying about groceries. You're crying about water. You're crying about all of this type of stuff, right? But people find money for things that are important to them. I say it all the time. All the time. You cannot convince people to invest in a stock. You can't convince people to put any money in their 401k. You can't convince people to put any money in investing in cleaning up their car, getting the spark plugs and an oil change, getting tires rotated. You can't get nobody to find no money to give to the poor, the person on the street. I ain't got it. GTA orders went live. Hey, man, let's go ahead and put that pre-order in. You don't even get the game for months. You don't even get the game for months, and they've already reserved it so that they can play it immediately as soon as it drops. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, if y'all think that, oh my God, I don't mind a man that plays video games, he's always in the house, you won't see him for a month. You won't see him for a month. For those of you ladies that don't get it, when this game drops, it's going to drop and it's going to be bigger than Call of Duty's. It's going to be bigger than the Rainbow Six. It's going to be bigger than 2K. It's going to be bigger than any NFL or NCAA game. You won't see him for a couple months. Sit. I know guys that are basically preparing their time off, their PTO time off, around the time that they anticipate GTA 6 coming out. Guys today treat video games the way that guys of yesterday treated hunting season. Here in Michigan, there's hunting season. And so do you know that the times that the auto plants determine when they're going to lay off the workers because they got to do a changeover for new product, right? So usually it's like 2 times a year that automakers plan to do changeover for automakers. Now, the old timers, the people that got the most seniority inside of the auto plant, what happens is the old timers already know when hunting season is. So they already got their spots. They got their gear. They're going to be hanging out with the boys. They're going to do all of that stuff. And so what happens is they take time off around the time that they lay off so they can basically get a month and a half off. So for the next 3 weeks, you're going to be off for 2 weeks, layoffs, you get sub pay. Sub pay is where you get your unemployment, and then the company negotiated by the UAW, they supplement your pay so that you don't actually miss a paycheck, right? Because it's due to no fault of your own, and that's a part of the union agreement. And then they're going to get 2 to 3 weeks of vacation afterwards. And guess what? The wives understood that the husbands were going to be going up north to go hunting, and don't check on me, don't call me. Hey, listen, honey, I'll tap in with you, but I'm going to be gone for a month. I'm telling you what it used to be like. I don't know what it's like in other states, but in Michigan, and it's hunting season, it's deer season. The automakers scheduled that time around the time where there's hunting season because they knew that everybody was going to be taking off anyway, and so they just adjusted to the workforce. As crazy as that sounds. So now everything has changed. We got a new generation of people. They're not interested in going hunting no more like that. They're not interested in hitting the bar. They're not interested in going out the same way that everybody else goes out. Now, they plan their off time around the time that the video games are released, like GTA 6. So when GTA drops, there are guys that are not calling off of work. They piling up their PTO time, or they're going to take their vacation time, not to take you on vacation, but so that they can spend more time in front of their PC, Xbox, PlayStation 5, whatever console that they have. They will be focused on that, and they will be spending their money on that. They got to get the packs, right? You got to get your digital man. Really, that is the metaverse. We thought that the metaverse was going to be something that Facebook dropped on us or Apple gave us, and we were wrong. The metaverse is GTA 6. People make friends. They meet up based off of who they friend group. They have tournaments, hardcore tournaments. They have, I forgot what they call it, but they have their own groups that they name and all of this stuff. Bitcoin Brown, tell them it sounds crazy, but it's not, because it is what it is. It's a real thing. It's a real thing in real life. Teams, they get serious about this. They be arguing with each other if somebody misses an assignment. All of this time, all of that. Dudes be sleep deprived. Oh my God. Y'all don't understand gaming culture. Dudes be working it. They play it like it's a job. They will put in a 20-hour shift, stinking, don't get in the shower, losing weight, won't eat. Internet. Y'all want to know why we need all of these data centers? Because we got to pump out GTA 6. Don't nobody want a data center, but everybody want to play GTA 6. Got to have that good connection. If you don't invest in nothing else, how they choose where they're going to live is determined by what kind of connection they can get. Is it fiber? Is it up? What's the up speed and the down speed? Oh, people research. They figure out everything that they can do. They try to figure out where to hide, the camping spots. Hey, what's going on? Oh, it's a thing. It's a culture. It's a real thing in real life on what's going on in the culture when it comes to gaming. And I get it. It's addictive. It's addictive. That's why I don't do it. I know my personality, and anything that I get into, I'm going to want to be the best at it, and I'm going to have to consume it, and so I won't buy it. I've gotten rid of my consoles, and I will never, ever, I'm not going to say never, ever, but I'm not interested in gaming because I understand that it's going to take away from the time that I want to use to get money, and I want to actually be outside. And everybody is equal on that server. Everybody is equal in the game. Your socioeconomic status, you don't know me. I'm rich in the game, baby. I don't have to be rich in real life. I'm rich in the game. That's the metaverse. The only thing that matters is my persona. I don't need a penthouse. I got one in GTA 6. I got 2 of them. And I got a garage. And I got motorcycles. And I got old schools. And I got exotics. I don't have to be rich in real life. I got GTA, baby. I got GTA. Bro, you know how I knew that it got bad in my much younger days? You know how I knew how it got bad? I had called off of work one day because I couldn't keep my eyes open. I had game for so long, I started hearing the birds. And it was like, chip, 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 chip. I had that controller in my hand. Because you got to black out the windows and stuff. You can't be having all of that light shining on the TV when you gaming and all of that stuff. So I'm gaming. I'm just getting it in. Start hearing the birds. You realize you got an hour and a half before you can only get an hour and a half sleep before you wake up and your ass is burning. I said, all right. Got to call off work. Nah, you know what? That's it for me. I'm not doing it. That's why y'all laughing, because y'all know it's true. Start turning into 5 o'clock in the morning and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, what is happening? Then your girl started getting concerned. Then your girl started getting concerned and saying, you okay, babe? Babe, I don't say nothing, but you be on that game all night. Now, you know when when it's really bad, when you've hit code red, all right? This is code red. Y'all ready for code red? All right, this is code red. She put her nightgown on. She dressed sexy because you've been depriving her of a good loving because you've been so immersed with the fellas in the game. All right, babe, I'm be right there. This is my last one. That was at 10 p.m. It's 4 a.m. Oh, shit. Man, what am I doing? You got your, Hey, bro, I got to get off, bro. Yeah, man, I got to go. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace. Okay. All right. You try to sneak in bed. She got an attitude, so she going to turn away from you. Then cured your boxolitis. Now, all of a sudden, you don't care about women no more. Cured your boxolitis by playing the game. Went ahead and just gave it on up. I said, you know what? My financial future, my business life, my work life, my social life has improved significantly since I've decided that I don't want to game no more. Now, ladies, what y'all don't know, now I'm going to give y'all a little bit of clue of what's happening out here in these streets. Y'all think y'all punishing us by saying, no box for you. We don't care. Listen, you can't punish me with something that I didn't care about anyway. I was hoping that you said, well, skipping. No box for you. All right. I'm about to get back on the game. The guys that are the least interested in box are the ones that are immersed in whatever mission that they're trying to go through to get more money to buy more stuff on the game. The guys, listen, if you ever want to find a guy that's not tripping about no box, usually he's gaming, he's immersed. Then you're gonna start making excuses. You're gonna start making excuses. You're gonna say, you know what? You wasn't paying attention to me anyway. That's why I start focusing on the game. Nah. I didn't say nothing when you was out with your friends and I wanted you, right? And so I didn't even say nothing. I said, you know what? I'm going to give her grace. Now all of a sudden I'm focused on the game. I'm not focused as much on you. And now it's a problem. Okay, all right. You know what? I see what we talking about. I see what we talking about. You start a fight so that you can go and play your game. Oh, listen. Listen, Heather. So I see you like domestic abuse, huh? You like police officers coming to your doorstep. Don't take a man. Listen, taking a man's game is worse than burning his clothes. Y'all might go through a breakup. You might go, Heather. You might go through a breakup in that instance. Even if it's temporary, you might get broken up with right then and there. Because I don't think he care about how bad you is. He don't care about what you did in the bed. He don't care about what you think you do and what you bring to the table. All of that goes out the window for a hardcore gamer. It needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. You said, I'm going to misplace the game cord. Don't worry about it. That's what they got printers for. Oh, you didn't know that the same cord that goes into the printer is the same one that goes into the console? Listen, you're talking to a different type of people. You're talking to a different demographic. These are people that keep emergency remote controls just in case they break one. You are talking to men that has multiple controllers on standby, already purchased, not so that they can play with their friends, but just in case they smash one. You are talking to a Code 4, Code 5 red gamer. Better listen to these guys in the chat. I'm trying to tell you, I done seen a lot in my lifetime. I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime. There's never anything more. There's never anything more important to a gamer than the game. It's worse than crack. Y'all don't, so I'm giving y'all new information. See that? Look, the best thing that the girl can do is game with them. Man, don't nobody want to play no game with you. Don't nobody want to do a co-op. So now she got the best thing that she can do is game with us. Man, listen, most guys don't want to be sitting there with a partner. Bro, I got a whole campaign that I'm doing right now. Listen, I don't feel like teaching you. So y'all just talking right now. Y'all making excuses. Just come and sit under us while we game for 17 hours straight. No, nobody wants you to sit under. They're trying to get good. They're trying to get through this campaign. Trying to get through this money. Talking about. Nobody trying to be sitting up under no girl while they immersed. Y'all just be lying. Nah, I'm straight. I can't do it. I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much. It's too immersive. Shout out to Trey Day. Great question. I forgot to cover that too. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, you saw Nightcap outside? I didn't. I was sleeping, and working. Sometimes I don't even, Malik Beasley indictment, I'm going to talk about it today. It's a part of the agenda. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, would you do a safari ride? Probably not. GR Infantry says the heat is because of that soup El Nino in the Pacific. Probably. Chosen says, yo, Anton, appreciate the content. Big dog, keep going. Thank you, Chosen. Appreciate you. Chris Connick. Oh, look at Chris. Chris says people have money for GTA 6 Ultimate Edition priced at $100, but not their bills or their phone bill. It's the Shy Guy says, how do you feel about the Supreme Court's ruling on mail-in voting yesterday? Today they will rule on birthright citizenship, and it looked like they will rule in favor of it. I anticipated that they would keep birthright citizenship. I wanted to wait on the ruling because I want to get the full breakdown from the judges on why they ruled the way that they ruled. But I am aware that it's coming. It's on the docket just in case they rule on it before the show over. You think crime will go down when it drops? Nope. TS Car Wash and Detail Services. 80, you saw the clips of the first Chris Mount Usher show. Sheesh. I didn't. Listen, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I just don't be caring about most of that stuff. If it's not something that I can speak on or that I can bring some insight to on the show, then I don't really care about it, to be honest with you. Just keeping it 100 with you. Chris Cunningham says, do you think that the rent freeze in NY is going to hyperinflate NY's economy, and thoughts? I think that you're going to see more millionaires getting out where they can. It's going to be difficult to sell a lot of these buildings, but I think you're going to see more people getting out where they can. And the problem with New York is that they have so many people and so much income coming in that the problems are hidden for long, but you're not going to see the residual effects of these problems until later on. But right now, they love Mamdani. Play the GTA 6 trailer, AD. Nope. Don't even want to get interested in it. OTG Noble says, the world of Wally may not have been as far off as we thought. I thought that whole narrative about Wally was 100% true. Let me throw that on the docket for the night. GTA 6. I'm going to put that on after hours. And we might do some, we might make some adjustments and changes on after hours today. Says, you saw the BET Awards. Juicy did great. I don't watch the BET Awards. It's not a thing to me. TS Car Wash and Detail Service. I don't watch any award show. Says, we used to play zombies on Call of Duty. Oh, we did. I did, anyways. Tucker Luck says GTA 6 got the streets in a figure 4 leg lock. It's going to be a cultural moment. A lot of y'all don't understand it's bigger than just a game. See what I'm saying? Millions26 says Gunplay got arrested for putting an AK-47 on his girl for telling him to turn the game down so that their baby could sleep. That's crazy. Saturday Night Beater says gaming is the closest thing to full life control. It is. It's insane. Let me throw Drewski on the docket too. Because I got some questions on that. So we do have after hours tonight. And y'all might see some upgrades. Y'all might see some changes. You might see me experimenting with a few things. But it should be fun. Should be fun and it should be interesting. However, we got something that we got to tackle right now. And so we got to go to a couple different places before we start to address a lot of the other stuff that's happening inside of the culture, including Chicago. But before we get into Chicago, we got to talk about McDonald's. Nope. Not in the way that you think that we about to talk about McDonald's. In a different way.
On a shocking shooting, arrest made after a father and his 11-year-old daughter were sitting in a McDonald's parking lot in Hallandale Beach when they were caught up in that gunfire.
And that incident sending them both to the hospital where the child is still recovering today. Local 10's Linny Supal is live from the scene right now with the details about the man in custody. Linny, what can you tell us?
Good afternoon. 18-year-old Ralph Blue arrested and charged with aggravated battery and aggravated assault. And we're learning that he was about to start a shift here at this McDonald's when the shooting unfolded in the parking lot and other young children were dangerously close to the gunfire. Shattered glass and a black SUV sprayed with bullets, a visible indication of gun violence. The result of a double shooting at a Hallandale Beach Boulevard McDonald's Saturday afternoon that put an innocent family with kids in the line of danger.
There was an individual coming to McDonald's to where other people appeared to be waiting for them. As a result of that, there was gunfire that was exchanged.
A father and his 11-year-old daughter struck by the gunfire as they were sitting inside their SUV. This morning, police reporting they were not alone. The bullets narrowly missing two other children, just 2 and 5 years old. The family patiently waiting for their mother to pick up their meal when it happened.
As soon as she heard the incident, she ran back outside looking to see if her family was involved, and discovered that her husband and her child had been shot.
Police calling this a targeted incident. They say it originated outside of the city and ended up here in this parking lot as the suspect was reporting to work. This weekend, the search for the suspect extensive. Officers spotted blanketing the scene. Today, police announcing a major break in the case. 18-year-old Ralph Blue.
It's us again. Hey, it's us again. It's us again. Maybe GTA 6 is going to be a good thing for the culture. Maybe having y'all in the house, even though you may not be making no money, even though you may not be being social, even though you may not be generating no revenue, maybe you being in the house is not a bad thing for the culture. Because what the F is going on in the streets, bro? What are we talking about? I can already tell that he was going to be a criminal before he ever grew up. You know why? Because his name is Ralph Nkosi. Ralph Nkosi Blue III. That means that his father was probably trash and his grandfather was also probably trash. And so he the third one in the generation to then come down here and then ultimately get some county browns. Why? Why? What are we doing? What are we doing? What's going on out here in the streets? Why is it always us? Because again, they're gonna be mad and they're gonna be feeling some type of way, but I don't see anybody going to the aid and to the rescue of the father and the kid because, oh man, crime, black on black crime, whatever, right? Whatever. Nobody cares about the fact that the people that actually got hit wasn't even the ones that was beefing with each other. The people that got hit were the innocent bystanders, was the person that had it, they kid, and they was just going to go get a Happy Meal. So you go to get a Happy Meal. Wreck-It Ralph right here. Shout out to Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph and his compadres, they got beef. So here's my first question before I really break this down. My first question is as such. What is it that y'all are beefing so heavy for to where you got to pull up on your ops before he do his shift at McDonald's? What could y'all possibly be in the beef for to where homie going to McDonald's, put on his uniform, practicing in the mirror. How may I help you? How may I help you? How may I help you? That'll be $8.99, please, ma'am. $13.04. Would you like to biggie size that? He practicing his speech. Wreck-It Ralph and them is out there making this community less safe. And then we'll sit there and say, well, it's the white man's fault. Maybe the white man created this situation where he gave Wreck-It Ralph and their friends opportunities and they decided to pull up on each other. How you know homie shift? Look, everybody in there know. Probably a girl. Probably some hoe. Girls in pride. How come y'all ain't got no competition on who getting the most money? I didn't even know that we were still on beefing over stuff in the streets. I thought that it was a big bank take little bank. Hey man, listen, that's why I'm stunting on you some more. Let's have a competition on who gonna run up the bag the most. Let's have a competition on who gonna be a better person. Let's have a competition on let's have some reward. You know what I'm saying? That was the way that a lot of the dope boys you know what I'm saying, was competing with each other. They would either do who could own the team that was going to have the best basketball tournament, or who was going to be the biggest stunner, who was going to have the most stunting. That's how strip clubs got popping. The strip clubs wasn't about the women. The strip clubs, the women was the accessory to the strip club. It was about stunting on him right there. That's how club culture started making so much money. That's how club culture got ruined, actually, because the club culture used to be, hey, man, we about to go and you know, have fun and dance, and we're going to get some girls. And then it became, but yo, I got more money than you. And I got a section. I got the whole section to myself. We don't want nobody in our section except for the ladies. Hey, I got more bottles than you. Bottle wars, right? I'm fresher than you, right? My mink is bigger than yours. My gator boots is flyer than yours. You got on gators. I got on gator boots. I got gators all the way up to my calves. It's all alligator with an alligator belt on top of it. You see that car out there? Huh? You see that car out there? Not only am I winning when I'm in the club, but I'm winning when I'm out the club. That's why when you park up, you paid the extra money to the valet, you say, keep me in front. Keep me in the front. Because you need to see me when I'm leaving. And I'm not leaving until the club closed, not because I don't want to leave, but because I need everybody outside when I go and get in my car, because you need to know who the king of tonight is, at least. It was a money war, right? It was a stunt war. It was who could be the freshest, who could be the flyest, who can have the most chicks, who could have the biggest chain, who could do all of that, right? Now, y'all pulling up on each other at McDonald's. He just now getting this shift started. What you doing? And he knew he had ops. That's why he had a pistol. He knew he had ops. That's why he had the pistol. Going to McDonald's. That's what ruining my establishment. Now my establishment is called the Murder Mac. A lot of y'all not familiar with that. Shout out to Joy Road. It's a gas station with a McDonald's over there on Joy Road, exit 9. And they say don't stop over there, man. It's nothing wrong. Like the business itself didn't do nothing wrong, but it's the people. It's the people in the culture that ultimately ruin the opportunities that come along with having these places inside of your community, the jobs. Y'all want to know why teenagers can't get jobs? Because they can't go there no more. Because it's too dangerous for them to walk to work. I see we just got the Supreme Court ruling. We're going to cover that in a little bit. It's too dangerous for them to walk to work. It's too dangerous. So now you got pedestrians and kids getting hit by stray bullets because they don't care nothing about it. It's riding on my ops even if everybody else died. Even if everybody else died, we riding. We ride at midnight. And you the dummy. Because you supposed to be the smart one. And you supposed to want to be the one to say, hey, Q. Hey, Doe. Let me out. Everybody focused on the saxophones when Ricky died. They not focused on the part where we really supposed to be paying attention to. It's that part. Hey, Doe. That was the part that meant the most to me. He had just got some box, right? He had just got his Jimmy wet after lying to his daddy about getting some box. And then he was about to rat on the homie so that he can go and get a boyfriend. Nah, man. Hey, Doe. Let me out. He should have known he should have never been in the first place because he had on a blue jean collared shirt. He had on a... He wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Got a young Lawrence Fishburne in the building.
Let me out.
Look at this. You listen, homie. You riding in the car with a dude that got a pacifier in his mouth. Hey Trey, you got on the same outfit that I got on right now. Trey got on the same outfit that I have on right now. Riding in the car with a stone cold killer, a dude that got a pacifier in his mouth, and Ice Cube with a Jerry curl. I bet you was looking at all of them and was like, "Hey, Doe, let me out." And then Ice Cube gonna keep driving like he ain't hearing. Don't roll your eyes at me.
Doe.
Look at his collars. There's no reason for him to be in this car right now. He has on, listen. You riding. Imagine a witness seeing Trey right now and saying, "Hey man, can you describe the killers?" Yeah, man, three of them had on black t-shirts, jeans. You know what I'm saying? They looked like they was real gangsters. But it was this other one, he had on a blue jean collared shirt. He had on a blue jean collared shirt. He looked like he was looking like a really good guy. The oddball. I don't think he was supposed to be there. This is a moment of clarity. Y'all not paying attention to the keys that's in these videos. The keys in these videos show you everything. We don't always belong. We're not supposed to be in the same conversation as the other ones. You know about the murder Mac? Yeah, he had on a blue jean collared shirt and a white t-shirt, a white undershirt under it. That was probably tucked inside of his drawers.
Let me out.
Riding inside of a gold 64 Impala with hydraulics on it. He got on a two-tone jean outfit. His bottom pant, and you can't say pants in this instance, you got to say pant. His bottom pant was the color of Obama's jeans. And the top blue jean part was a darker blue jean. Boy, if you don't get on out of that car, his shirt is still tucked in his jeans. Your shirt is tucked in your jeans. What are you doing riding with gangsters? We not all supposed to be there, y'all. Some of us are meant to be doctors. We're looking to be engineers. We're looking to be lawyers. We're looking to be all of those things. Bro, get out the car. That's my message to you people that want to be out here in these streets. Get out the car. I need to change the name of this live stream to Get Out the Car. Your pant, your your blue jean shirt that is a darker color than your bottom pant is tucked inside of your jeans. Your undershirt is tucked inside of it. You know how you know you've aged out? Let me tell you how you know you've aged out. When you start to tuck your undershirts inside of your drawers because you don't want it to pop out. You don't want your undershirt to pop out of your jeans, so you tuck them inside of your drawers for extra elasticity. That's how you know. You know what? I'm too old for this. I don't have time for this nonsense. There's a certain way that you put on your clothes every day. Drawers, socks, undershirt, because your undershirt has your undershirt has to be tucked. When you remember what your uncle taught you when you was younger, and he said, "Hey man, tuck your undershirt inside of your drawers so that when you put your jeans on, it doesn't pop out your undershirt when you're doing stuff throughout the day. And that way, everything is good. Ah! Before you put on your pants and your shirt, you go by the mirror and you be looking crazy. Yo, walking by the mirror when you getting dressed in the morning after you brush your teeth and seeing you in some drawers, socks, and an undershirt that is tucked inside of your drawers is insane. That is crazy. Yo. Oh man. Walking by the mirror looking just like a cornball and feeling good. Like, yep, nice and safe. Going to work in the morning. Going to work in the morning, feeling good, dressed like your grandfather. Oh, I'm sweating. I can't be sweating in here this morning. Oh, y'all dressed like your granddaddy. Looking like Mr. Brown. Oh my God. Oh. And boy don't even want to look at himself in the mirror in the morning. My God, I look crazy under my clothes. Looking crazy under your clothes. But but my point is this. You said you didn't know people tuck their shirt. Yeah. Try it. Listen. It's not going to look sweet, all right? It's not going to, listen. It's not going to look sweet at first. I promise you. But you never go back from it. You'll never go back from it. At first, when you try it, you're going to be like, oh, man, I look crazy. But how everything stays together throughout the day, you'll never get away from it, bro. Yeah, I'm about to change your life. I'm about to completely change your life. Tuck your undershirt and your drawers. It's a game changer, fellas. Your boys be like, you going to work. It's a game changer. I promise you. Somebody said it's effective. You just look crazy. Oh. I hate this show. I hate this show so much, man. But it's funny because it's real. It's real. It's not like this, bro. The stuff that we laugh about and the stuff that we talk about, it's hilarious because it's so honest. Why am I like this? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. All I know is the honest to God truth. And so that's the thing about the Millionaire Morning Show is that you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes we may be talking about somebody getting shot at McDonald's, and that may lead to us talking about tucking our pants and tucking our undershirts inside of our jeans. That's correct. Now, preferably you want to have a wife beater. Got to have a wife beater, all right? Always have a wife beater. And you want to have your wife beater match whatever your shirt is, right? You don't want to have a black wife beater with a white shirt. You want to have a black wife beater with a black shirt and a white wife beater with a white shirt or gray. Usually you want to have your wife beater and make sure it's a wife beater. AD wears suspender socks. We going to get into the birthright citizenship conversation, I promise you. I promise you. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll be going off on a rant, on a tangent, and that's just what we do at the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you guys, and that's the thing, like we don't know so you can't duplicate it. You can't copy it because this is why I can't be on regular TV because I don't have a script. I don't have a script. Prayer CJ2K forever. I don't know what that means, CS Car Wash and Detail Service. What does that mean? Trey Day in the building says, I need a coaching call ASAP. I'm going through it. Is it bad? My daughter trying to make friends. It concerns me. She has a big heart. Shoot. This sounds like a code 5 emergency. Got to protect our daughters. Send me an email. I'm going to try to get you in today, bro. No guarantees. The Prince says, AD, any chance we will see a version of the Q&A panel back? My work week ain't the same without it. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a lot to run that type of show and to run it effectively. It's a lot. I may switch some things up, though. I may switch some things up. Daily Discourse with Arturo says, 80, please cover the story of the 1-year-old who was shot as the mother was stealing from Walmart. I did. She is posting pics of Money fans and celebrating after the baby's funeral. Black Lives Matters riots are starting up. All right, I got to figure out what that is. Can you send it to me? Because I haven't seen an update on it. I covered it initially. I think it was in Mississippi. Send it to me. Email send. Okay, got you. Thank you, Daily Discourse. I'm going to tackle it today and probably talk about it tomorrow. Manny Plays PC says, when her girl says no box, they run to the strip where all of the workers be in the grand theft. Yes. Go and pick up a prostitute in grand theft. Anton, I eat peacefully with my kids at the what McDonald, says C. Soto. Cube kept driving, hitting switches, says CS Car Wash and Detail Service. Winter Fresh Mac in the building says, I wanted to be a neighborhood crip at 15. When I seen one of the big homies get ran out of town, I was like, nah, I'm going to stick to being the square. So this scene resonates with me a lot. We got to get out the car. Singing Everything is Awesome, AR is back. I got your email, Trey. I just got it. Want to make it to see GTA 6? You got to dress like Trey with the shirt tucked in. Facts. Anton used underwear tuck. You used the underwear tuck. It was super. I'm giving the people the game. I dressed like Bill Cosby till I was 15. I dressed like Bill Cosby today. Low key, Bill Cosby was fresh as hell. A lot of people don't know that Bill Cosby was fresh. But we didn't know that because we were so focused on, a bunch of other things. Chicago. Before we go on break, after break, we're going to tackle the birthright citizenship ruling with the Supreme Court. I anticipated that's what it was going to be. So we're going to talk about that. Here, let me give you all a breakdown of what we're going to talk about after this story. So this is what we got lined up for the rest of the day. We're going to cover what's going on in Chicago because it's a lot of crime that's going on in Chicago. We're also going to cover Comcast is spinning off NBC Universal, so we got to talk about that from a financial perspective. That'll be later. Terrion Arnold was released. He bonded out, but the Lions, they released him. We know Terrion Arnold from earlier late last week, where he got caught up in that thing over in Florida. We got birthright citizenship, and we got to cover Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley is the former NBA player, and Ed Davis, former NBA players, that's getting indicted by the feds, all right? And we got a bunch of other stuff that we can tackle if we want to. Jersey City property taxes is going up. We might hold that off till tomorrow. Public school staffs layoffs across the U.S. that's taking place. But let's just focus on those 4 after that. But for right now, we got to go over to Chicago. Chicago, you with me? Shout out to the Shy.
Was a grisly crime scene. Police arrived to find 1 person dead on the sidewalk and 2 others injured, needing immediate medical attention after being shot. Take a look. Chicago police say this happened just before 10:45 last night at 82nd and Cottage Grove in the Chatham neighborhood. Investigators say 2 20-year-old men and a 19-year-old man were walking outside when a black sedan pulled up and fired shots. Police say someone inside that car opened fire, hitting all 3 victims before that driver then sped away heading north on Cottage Grove. One of the 20-year-old men was shot in the chest and died at the scene. The other 2 victims were both shot in the leg. Both of those men were taken to the hospital where they are expected to be okay. Now at that scene there at 82nd and Cottage Grove, there are more than 80 evidence markers that we were able to capture last night.
And we're going to need a couple more cars for control crime scene. Okay. People, they're just not listening. Get back.
318 South Maryland. Behind this location, caller is saying that there is an offender in a silver sedan, Toyota or Nissan, 15 gunshots and a person shot. It's the other shooter was also in a silver sedan.
At the scene, we saw 1 man being put into handcuffs, but Chicago police have yet to say if anyone was arrested, nor have they released a description of that shooter. In the meantime, we are waiting for the medical examiner to identify that 20-year-old man who was killed.
So let me tell you right now that they do not know who the person is that was killed. And more importantly, they have 80 evidence markers. So some people were saying that it was 15 shots that was let go, but 80 evidence markers. Do you know what 80 evidence markers mean? In most instances, it means that's how many shell casings that they were finding on the ground. They are bringing hundreds of evidence markers to multiple scenes, to every scene that they can find that they exhibit crime over in Chicago. Overnight, it's the same story. Right after we get Brandon Johnson talk about, oh no, we're creating a new multi-million-dollar task force, an office, an agency or whatever with the same results. Nothing's changing. Did a press conference. Oh my God, we're going to have children sign their names in cursive. And nothing is changing over in Chicago. Still people dying, still people getting shot, still people letting loose, and the police don't have no suspects, and they still running around on the streets with guns. And they got extended clips, and they got every single 3D printed thing that you can get on top of it. Extended magazines, facts. Nothing's changed in Chicago. Chicago is really the town. They the real town. You ever seen a movie with Ben Affleck and not Matt Damon, but Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner or whatever his name is? It's the town. You know why? And let me shoot Chicago some bail right now. All right? Let me shoot Chicago some bail. Unfortunately for the city, even though it's mismanaged by politicians, even though y'all getting downgraded in your ratings, even though, J.B. Pritzker refuses to get Trump's help, even though it's a strong, like a 97% chance that you're going to lose your football team, even though you see killings on the South Side and in some of these neighborhoods on a regular basis where on Juneteenth over 30-something, almost 40 people were shot, even though 8 people died that weekend, the majority of Chicago, like most major cities, is nice. You go down to visit the Bean, yep, okay, it's on the Magnificent Mile. They have a high vacancy rate, and a lot of retail stores are leaving. But in a general sense, if you go and visit the Bean, you go to downtown Chicago, you go to visit a lot of these places, Giordano's Pizza, and they got Chicago-style pizza, but actually Detroit does Chicago-style pizza better. I'm not going to say nothing about that. I know y'all going to get mad about that, but it's true. It's true. Pizza Popular's pizza is much better than anything that I've experienced in Chicago. It's true. But even though y'all may have a lot of this stuff going on in your city, the majority of the city when you visit is nice. The suburbs is nice. I prefer to do my shopping in the suburbs out in the Chicagoland area because they have a lower tax rate than if you was to buy the same product inside of the city. So even when I went there and I bought my first Rolex, a lot of people don't understand. Me and Chicago got ties. I bought my first Rolex in the metro Chicago area. But I decided not to do it in the city. I did it in the suburbs because I got a 2% less tax on, I think it's like 8% or something in the city, and it's like 6% or something in the suburbs. Chicago was a nice place to visit. It's just got a lot of things that's messed up right now. It's a lot of things that's messed up right now in Chicago. New York style pizza is pretty dope. I like it where it's super thin and you can fold it over. Yeah, New York style pizza is pretty good. And then you got the Detroit style pizza where it's like a Jets pizza. And then the Chicago style pizza where it's like a pie. And you have a whole lot of stuff and marinara on there. And you got a really thin crust and it's like a pie. It looked like an apple pie, but it's a pizza. Right? And the marinara sauce and stuff on top of it. That's my favorite style pizza. But Detroit actually makes a better pizza than Chicago, in my opinion. Chicago is awesome. Chicago is a very, very, very nice city in most places. But like most places, their reputation is marred not only by bad politics, which feeds into all of the crime, but they can't get control of the shooters. I got to give Detroit a little bit of props before I continue on with this story. Detroit started charging teens' parents and holding them accountable and arresting them. During the fireworks, during last week, they arrested over 180 teens. They was taking them down. Your backpack look heavy? Come on, get in this paddy wagon. I drove down the street. They had buses, regular city buses with people on there that they were arresting. They had the paddy wagon out and they had city buses and they were going to pick up people that were breaking curfew or looked like that they were carrying something that they wasn't supposed to carry. They was doing searches, stop and search, stop and frisk. They was frisking people. They was finding guns and they was arresting them. And they was saying, you ain't getting out until your parents come and pick you up. And then they sent the parents to court. And then they issued warrants for the parents' arrest when they didn't appear in court. And they started hitting them with fines, $250, $200. And then the parents was like, oh my God, I knew that he was out, but I didn't know. Well, now you're going to pay attention. Pay attention or pay money. Pay attention or pay money. The police chief in Detroit was not playing. They had so many officers out and about. I couldn't even get to my spot unless I told them. I was like, hey, I live there, this and that, so on and so forth. Oh, okay. Had to show proof. No, it doesn't. Nobody in the country has more crime than Chicago. I've already proved it. I've already pulled up the stats. I've already did all of that. There's no point in me going into it. I'm not going to argue with you because the stats show differently. The stats show differently. Remington says, Anton, Chicago has almost 4 times Detroit's population. What does that mean? That means that y'all pay more taxes too. That means that you pay more in taxes, so you should get better services. That's my point. If you have 4 times the population, then that means that you should have 4 times the police officers, 4 times the representation, 4 times the force, 4 times the amount of money to be able to stop the things that's going on inside of your community. That's the whole idea of it. That's the premise. You got more people, you got more resources, you're supposed to have a better situation. But guess what you have? Guess what Chicago has over Detroit? A worse credit rating. Our credit rating went up. Y'all's are continuing to go down. Y'all paying higher interest, and you can't even fix your schools. You can't fix the crime. You can't fix the budget. Y'all got 50 aldermen. What do we have? 9 city council people? Y'all got 50. All making on average $150,000 a year. 50 aldermen, plus they staff, plus the city cars, plus all of the security, plus Brandon Johnson's 150 police officers on his security detail. 50 aldermen. What about that part? Oh, you can't actually bring any facts, no stats. The only thing you can go is based off of how you feel. So when I state the stats, when I state the crime, when I state the budget, when I state the politics, I know more about y'all city than you do. I know more about your city than you do. Y'all don't even know what's on the docket. You don't even know what's coming up this November. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing at all. You know what you know? Crime, corruption, issues, problems, 3 men shot, 1 killed overnight. But that's not the only thing that happened yesterday.
Identify that 20-year-old man who was killed. Live in the newsroom this morning, I'm Darius Johnson. Dana, back to you in studio.
Friends say they've lost a man with a kind and generous heart. He was shot to death this morning near his work with the CTA. WGN's Andrea Medina is live at police headquarters tonight. Andrea?
Hi, Dina. The 57-year-old man who lost his life in Roseland today spent nearly 2 decades with the CTA, where he built a career and friendships. Now those closest to him are left struggling, trying to make sense of this loss, saying he didn't deserve this ending.
You took a human being that would be greatly missed and had a lot more to do.
He was born Thomas Barlow, but to those who knew him best, his middle name, Kevin, became the name that lived beyond him, and now a name spoken through memory. On Monday, heartbroken friends and family returned to the place where he grew up in Woodlawn to grieve and honor a man they say gave kindness freely and left an impact that will never fade.
He was a kind-hearted individual that he gave, went on his way to do anything that you asked him to do, and just to make sure everyone around him was happy.
Kevin was more than a friend to so many. He was a source of joy. Loved ones say he found happiness in the simple things, from a competitive game of bid whist where he earned trophies and plenty of bragging rights, to sharing good food and unforgettable moments with the people he loved. But they say Kevin's greatest gift was his heart, always finding a way to give back. As a Mason, they say he served his community with pride, supporting schools, helping families, and putting smiles on children's faces through Toys for Tots.
Making sure we had enough toys and making sure that everybody, all the kids in the school was going to get a toy.
CPD says Kevin was found shot in the chest just after 4 in the morning near a CTA facility in the 9900 block of South State Street.
Model citizen. Chicago kills a CTA worker. You can't even go to work as a city worker for the Chicago Transit Authority without that man is literally no threat to anyone. Zero threat to anyone. Go to work, mind his business, take care of his people and his family, enjoying his life, going to work every day, and getting killed by people that look like him going to work. Now, nobody is going to come to and say, hey, man, we stand with Big Dog. Nobody is going to trip about it. It's not just, see, this is the part that I'm trying to help y'all to understand. It's not just the YNs killing YNs. They're killing regular civilians, getting hit with gunfire for no reason at all. Is nothing, no reason for this man to be dead, going to do his job, getting killed outside of the Chicago Transit Authority, getting ready to start his shift or getting off his shift. Is no reason for this man to be dead right now. At all. It's silly. It's silly.
CTA union officials say Kevin was at work as a rail switcher when he walked to his car to grab his belongings, and that's when he was allegedly carjacked and killed. They say Kevin's death highlights a painful call for change and the urgent need to strengthen protections for transit workers.
One life lost is one too many. We cannot allow another.
Going out to your car. You're a train switcher for the Chicago Transit Authority. Going out to your car, not only do they carjack you, they kill you. Walking to your car from work. No, y'all the sellouts. You the sellout. You the sellout because you validate this behavior. You're the sellout because you think that this is okay. You're the sellout because the only time that you show up in your own city is if you think that it's a white person that was a part of it.
Not one more person to the gun violence in Chicago.
The people he leaves behind are holding on to the moments and the kindness of a man they say gave so much of himself to others. And as they mourn, they continue to search for answers and wait for justice.
You took a
And
soul
nobody
that was
arrested.
Genuine to everyone out here.
Nobody arrested.
Now at this time, no arrests have been made. We're live outside CPD headquarters.
I guarantee you every single time that I do a story about an innocent person dying at the hands of somebody that is carjacking them in Chicago, I'm going to finish the story by saying, and no arrests were made. If you die as a regular civilian, now, if you're a police officer, then they're going to find you. But if you die as a regular civilian, no arrests are going to be made. No arrests is going to be made. No arrests are made. Hey, no arrests are made. We don't know who did it. They got his car. They took an engine out of it. They took the exhaust. They took the Hellcat badges off of it. No arrests have been made.
Andrea Medina, WGN News.
All right, thank you, Andrea.
A disturbing crime involving two members of our CBS.
Oh, we're not done. We're not done. Listen, it's not just they killing themselves. It's not just they killing CTA workers. They also attacking news crews.
News Chicago family. A group of men attacked our journalists at the museum campus, leaving one of our live trucks looking like this. Making it even worse, racial hate may have been the motivation. Our Jermont Terry joins me now to break down this very scary situation, Jermont.
Eric, I want to begin by letting everyone know that our employees are safe. While they are not physically hurt, what they endured while simply gathering news will impact them for quite some time. It was just before our afternoon 4:30 newscast. A photojournalist and a reporter were preparing for a live shot on the busy museum campus when men in a tow truck targeted them, leaving everyone frightened and caught off guard. Chicago police tape off the lakefront outside the Adler Planetarium. CPD called after two CBS Chicago employees were targeted on the job.
It came out of nowhere.
These two witnesses visiting Chicago watched as a white tow truck parked directly in front of the CBS News van. At first, a man and a dog got out.
It started racial with the cameraman because he was an African-American male.
The CBS employees and the witnesses say the white or Hispanic men then moved aggressively toward the cameraman.
Was he white or was he Hispanic?
And racial slurs never stopped.
Random hate.
That's how you describe it?
Absolutely.
Remember, the one man had an unleashed dog in the busy public park.
He walked up and literally was commanding the dog.
The CBS employees and CPD say the man commanded that dog to attack.
I think he was trying to, again, intimidate him, to make him scared by having the dog approach first.
Y'all so obsessed with how bad this chick is looking, y'all can't even pay attention. Box of light is, I'm telling you, summertime is here.
And when the CBS employee defended himself from the dog, witnesses say that's when the other two men in the tow truck jumped out.
And they were saying, leave the dog alone. And I just feel like maybe the scene got more chaotic than what they were expecting, and I feel like the only thing they thought to do was to just cause as much damage as they could and leave.
They knocked over the CBS News camera, damaging it, then went for the news van.
and they grabbed a cone and just started smashing the van window.
After breaking the windshield, the tow truck took off.
A white pickup truck, tow truck, actually crashed immediate onto Pleasant Avenue.
About 20 minutes later, miles away, people called 911 about the same tow truck, this time because those inside were pointing a gun at people on the sidewalk near 42nd and Western. By the time officers caught up with the truck, the driver sped off.
Can you ask those officers how many people they saw?
How come nobody can catch nobody in Chicago? Do y'all have some secret tunnels? Do y'all have secret streets that y'all are able to get by or get down that police officers are not able to traverse? How come everybody get away in Chicago? The YNs get away, the races get away, the white people get away, the Hispanic people get away. Everybody get away in Chicago. The police don't catch nobody in Chicago unless it's a police officer that dies or has gotten hurt. How you don't catch a tow truck? You can't catch a tow truck?
They wanted the truck, just to confirm.
Eventually, all three jumped out before crashing into a squad car.
And where's that weapon recovered at?
Once arrested, police say they found a weapon in the vehicle.
We didn't see any guns in that moment, but to know that it escalated to that or it could have been that is just terrifying.
Now, witnesses insist this was racially motivated and the intent was to intimidate our black colleague. That weapon, the rifle found in the tow truck, was never displayed to either one of the CBS employees. But tonight, Erica, charges are pending against those three men Chicago police arrested.
It is just horrible what happened to them. And of course, we are trying to support them in every way we can.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, Jermont.
Yo, pray for Chicago. Pray for the areas where people spend the majority of their time, and pray for the civilian, pray for the CTA workers, pray for everybody, bro. Let me read some of these Cash Apps and Super Chats, and I'm going to hit y'all up with the music of the day. Always putting y'all up on new stuff. I think y'all might like this one. And let me read these Super Chats real quick. AD, CJ2K is Chris Johnson's prayer for, Chris Johnson. Yeah, man, I feel bad for Chris Johnson, bro. I literally prayed for him on the live yesterday. Chris Reed says we need to thank the Dreadheads for starting Chicago. Chris Reed also says, so Mr. Anton, should we send armed guards to clean up Chicago? They don't want them. Trump has already offered. And they said that they don't want them. C.K. McCargo says, I'm a little behind, but you're right about the gaming life. When Tekken 8 came out, I took PTO, and my wife let me grind and ranked without bothering me. Wow. I'm telling y'all. Shout out to Mike, that dude says, shout out to the gamers. Good game. Salute. On Cash App. Mr. Cargo said his wife was like, yeah, you can grind, you can hustle. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says thoughts on the T.I. album. It's tough to me. I listened to it. I actually listened to it on Saturday. I had to go and check out some properties, and so I put it on in the car. Because I like to listen to stuff at home and in the car because I got the best speaker systems in both. It was okay to me. It was okay. It was just okay. Maybe I'm just spoiled from like Iceman or something like that, but it was just okay to me. It wasn't like crazy. It wasn't bad. I like Mr. Him and a few other ones or whatever, but I don't know. I'm going to have to listen to it again. Maybe we'll do a review or something like that on Saturday. Joe Biden podcast, CI interview. He talked about the lawsuit. Jay Dreamer in the building says, good morning, AD. Add me to the list of the bag chasers. Now you have 21,105. Yeah. Looking forward to achieving that quota of achieving $250,000 a year. I need that. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. All right. Terrell A says, you see why Mugo not on the beat anymore in Chicago? Mugo leveled up. Mugo leveled up and was like, you know what? Mugo was in the streets. All right, y'all. Let's see what we got today. All right. This is called All or Nothing from Toby Nwigwe and Labyrinth. All right. And Labyrinth. I love that song. I love that song. That song get me going when I'm getting in the shower in the morning and you got to throw something on and you want to make sure that you in a good mood with good vibes and all of that. Ladies love that song too. This is what it looks like. All right. That's it. For those of you that's asking me what it is, that's what it looks like. All right. It's my favorite joint right now that I've been listening to. All right. Let's get into birthright citizenship. Shout out to my girl Lex. Lex says, a gamer girl is where it's at. How many of y'all actually would date a gamer girl? Let me revise that. How many of y'all are curious about what it's like to date a gamer girl? Thank you, 410 Jordan. Who is she talking to? She said, look like yeah, that's what you do. You're supposed to wash your hands at least 5-6 times a day. Are you a gamer girl, Jody? Wow. I haven't, would again. I would date a gamer girl. Me too. I'd do it. I don't know, bro. I don't know. They're the freakiest ones. Don't be fooled. They got to look like the girl on the screen. They stream too much. I don't know. It seemed like it would mesh with my life. It would mess up my lifestyle. Anyways, all right, y'all. Let's get into the second half of the show. The first thing that I want to tackle is the recent revelations when it came to the Supreme Court. I don't understand how they got this wrong. But first of all, let me give you some insight on what they ruled on, all right? This is the latest of what they ruled on in the Supreme Court. So birthright citizenship was upheld. I'm going to tackle that shortly. It says, in a big loss for the president, Donald Trump, the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, striking down his executive order. Chief Justice John Roberts, calling citizenship the right to have rights, wrote for the court that the framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land. We keep that promise today. Let's go into the opinion of it. This is the actual file. All right, y'all can actually read this stuff. Y'all can actually read the files from the Supreme Court justice of what happens, why they rule the way that they rule. Syllabus. Under the English common law, children born within the sovereign's dominions owed a natural allegiance to the sovereign who protected them at birth. Chief Justice Roberts delivered the opinion of the court. At issue in this case is whether the Constitution guarantees citizenship to children born of parents unlawfully or temporarily present in the United States. The 14th Amendment provides all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. On January 20th, 2025, President Trump issued Executive Order 14160 titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. The order provides that children born of persons unlawfully or temporarily present in the United States are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and thus do not qualify for citizenship under the 14th Amendment or the Immigration and Nationality Act, which uses the same language. Several parents filed suit, some on their own behalf, and some on others' behalf in the name of their children. They argued that the executive order violates the 14th Amendment and the NIA. The district court agreed. It provisionally certified a nationwide class of children who would be denied citizenship by the order and preliminarily enjoined the order's enforcement. To understand the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, it is necessary to understand the context in which it arose. In the opinion of the court, Dred Scott versus Sanford, that it rejected. The story of citizenship in the United States begins with the English common law. Before the Revolution, the American colonists, like all in the British Empire, were considered subjects of the sovereign. That arose not from royal fiat, but from what the common law conceived as the relationship between sovereign and the people. The king, Blackstone explained, owes those born within those dominions a duty of protection. See if I can pull anything else out of this. This view crossed the Atlantic with the colonists and was adopted with little fanfare after the Revolution as subjects of the sovereign became citizens of the states. This common law of citizenship known as jus soli, or right of the soil, prevailed in each of all of the states after American independence and continued to emphasize reciprocal allegiance and protection. By the doctrine of natural allegiance, all who were born within the jurisdiction of the state were citizens. W. Yeats' Rights of Colored Men, 36, 1838. When the newly independent Americans confronted a novel situation unknown to England, that of the quasi-sovereign Indian tribes, they turned to the principles of the common law. So let me tell you what this means to me, okay? And we can go over here to NPR, and it goes into a sharp rebuke to President Trump. The Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that the Constitution guarantees automatic birthright citizenship to virtually all children, all, don't matter who you are, Chinese, Vietnamese, Venezuelan, whoever you are, don't matter who you are, Haiti, Haitians, all of that, to all children born in the United States. Chief Justice Roberts wrote the court's 6-3 opinion that the decision firmly rejected the executive order that Trump issued on the first day of his second term. It sought to bar citizenship for babies born in the U.S. to parents who either entered the country illegally or who are living and working here legally with temporary visas. The executive order never went into effect because every lower court judge who reviewed it concluded, in the words of one judge, that it was blatantly unconstitutional. Trump has long maintained that the Constitution does not guarantee birthright citizenship. But as Chief Justice Roberts observed, the men who wrote the 14th Amendment of the Constitution after the Civil War defined citizenship in broad terms on purpose, rejecting the views of those who want to limit citizenship. The resulting language of the amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Trump maintained that the provision was meant to apply only to former slaves. Trump, let's put this in perspective, because everybody don't understand. He is the person that is fighting on behalf of people that were born in the U.S., a slave that was brought here against their will, and then ultimately fought in a civil war that led to what we see happening today in the 14th Amendment, okay? So Trump maintained that the provision was meant to apply only to former slaves. It was not meant to apply to the whole world, to occupy the United States. That interpretation, however, has not been embraced by the courts or the legal norms of the country for 160 years. Chief Justice Roberts' opinion for the court for the court pointed to the court's landmark ruling well over a century ago in 1898, case of Wong Kim Ark, born in San Francisco, 1873, to Chinese immigrants. Back then, no documentation was required for immigrants entering into the United States, and his parents ran a business in San Francisco until they ultimately returned to China. In 1895, their son visited his family there, but was denied re-entry upon his return to the U.S. on the grounds that he was not a citizen. He challenged that denial and won in court. So, all right, so let me break this down for you guys, all right? I'm going to break it down from a C student's perspective and give you some insight on what's happening. Why did it go away? There we go. And give you some insight on what's happening, okay? So essentially, it was developed for slaves, especially for those that fought in the Civil War. Slavery has been in existence in the United States for a long time, centuries. Okay? Transatlantic slave trade helped build this country. Upon the freeing of the slaves, which wasn't necessarily for the slaves themselves, but some would even argue that it was to weaken the South, it applied broadly, but obviously it was made for, and the people that was at the forefront of why this rule was put together is the people that didn't ask to be here. It wasn't for people that came over here voluntarily. It wasn't for people, they didn't do this because, oh man, it was challenged legally, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's why the rule was created in the first place, right? So, unfortunately for the Supreme Court, they go by case law. They go by previous cases in which people were able to challenge, even back in the 1800s, well over a century ago, that they were able to challenge the rule of law based off of certain principles that was operating at that time. But it doesn't mean that the poster child for what birthright citizenship was for black people that were brought over here against their will, but had children and had to breed. And so as a result, the Supreme Court disagreed with the Trump administration and said that we're going to go strictly by how we interpret that the law was created or the amendment was created in the first place, and not based off of what it was really created for or who was at the forefront of why this movement was happening in the first place. So they don't add context. The only thing that they care about is how they reference law, how they reference the amendment and how it was interpreted, even though it was said created for all. That way it covered everybody, but it doesn't mean that that's why it was created in the first place. So now anybody can come over here illegally. You can literally cross the border, and the Asian community does it so well. So well. They hide their pregnancies. They come over here. They fly over here for vacation. They have their children in an American hospital, and then they go back to their country, and then they have birthright citizenship applied to that child. So it doesn't matter anymore. They don't care if you came over here legally. They don't care if you came over here illegally. They don't care what happened. Slavery is abolished. The people that was used to get this law passed or get this amendment in the first place are now out. They out. Guess what you're not going to hear from black people? I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I am going to talk about this on After Hours tonight. Guess what you will not see from black people? We're going to have this conversation tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of things. You are not going to see with all of the protest. You know why they're not going to talk about this? Because they don't want to give Trump credit for fighting on the behalf of what you would call yourself an FBA. Trump said, nah, man, this was only for slaves. This was for the descendants of slaves. And nobody is going to say anything about it. He took it all the way to the Supreme Court, fought for it. Fought for it. Ain't nobody tripping though. In a 6-3 vote, the justices interpreted the word subject to the jurisdiction thereof to mean. The justices interpreted. Our Supreme Court is there to interpret the law. Their interpretation is law, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, to mean that all children born in the U.S. were automatically granted citizenship, with 3 limited exceptions, only one of which exists today, for the children of foreign diplomats. So, this is no different than the civil rights movement itself, and how I always highlight that the civil rights movement was hijacked by feminists, by gay people, by diversity, equity, and inclusion, by the LGBTQ community, by all of the different waves of feminists who now include them in it, even though you're the ones that, and your ancestors are the ones that suffered for it. So now the interpretation for most people is, well, our ancestors basically suffered for everybody to benefit. I want to see all of these blackity blacks come out and talk about it. I want to see them talk about it. Do you have Trump derangement syndrome so much to where you're willing to stand on this? You actually think that this makes sense for y'all? Your people, your ancestors died. You never got a reparation. You never got 40 acres and a mule. You didn't get anything. And now they're saying, listen, I'm going to summarize it for you. Listen, y'all fought for all of us. Hashitashi. Thank you. Y'all fought for all of them. Illegal, legal, Somalis, Venezuelans, Mexicans, no matter what, y'all fought for everybody and everything. Everybody deserves to be here if they have a child here. Amazing. This is the debate that we really should have on the Stephen A. Smith channel, but we're going to have it on After Hours tonight. We're going to have it on After Hours tonight. I'm not really sure how we, in any way, shape, or form, disagree. Why would we disagree? You didn't have any president that came before Trump that fought on the behalf of birthright citizenship, and people been screaming this for the longest. Trump finally took it all the way up to the Supreme Court, lost through no fault of his own, right? He fought the good fight. He took it all the way to the Supreme Court, and now I want to see what everybody else has to say about it. I want to see what everybody got to say about it. Over the next week, I am going to be watching social media feverishly. I am going to be watching social media, and I'm going to be all over those timelines. And the reason that I'm going to be watching social media and I'm going to be over those timelines is because I want to see how outraged the community is. I want to see how outraged the community is. I want to see how crashed out y'all are and how closely people have been following birthright citizenship in the U.S. What does that translate into? This is why I said that white people and black people need to be working together, because the country is being destroyed by liberals. The country is being destroyed by liberals. And black people are so dumb in the culture that they're willing to support it because they still racist in their heart, but they're not racist enough to stand up for themselves. They're racist against the person. They're not really racist against the system. They don't really believe in systematic oppression. They don't really believe in any of this because you didn't see any of them talking about it or standing up for it when it came to this Supreme Court ruling. So you finally got something on the docket that speaks to an issue that you guys thought were meaningful, but the person that brought it to the Supreme Court is somebody that you don't like. So as a result, you quiet about it. You quiet about it. Because the person that brought the issue up is not the person that you wanted to bring an issue up. What do they say? Right message, wrong messenger? How come nobody is asking Obama when they interview him? I see Obama doing a bunch of interviews in order to promote his presidential library. Nobody is asking Obama, what does he think about birthright citizenship? Nobody asks the meaningful questions. Everybody gives fluff pieces. Everybody gives fluff pieces. Nobody asks the hard-hitting question. And this confirms what I've been saying for a long time. You guys are nothing more than poster children. Want to know how they was able to push the feminist movement through? They got black women to join, and black women haven't recovered since. Now y'all living in y'all cars, van life. Y'all not even the ones that benefited from feminism or diversity, equity, and inclusion. They picked you and said, you're going to be our black poster child, and we're going to push through every liberal agenda, even if it's by choice. It's not enough for us to say, hey, man, civil rights, we got to give civil rights, birthright citizenship to all black people. We need affirmative action. They said, well, listen, affirmative action, that applies broadly. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, we should extend that because we got to be more powerful. And y'all said, well, how we going to be more powerful, boss? And they said, well, we're going to be more powerful by including more people. You know how we did the Freedom Riders? Black people and white people, women and men alike, they all rode together so that we can achieve something in the U.S. And they said, oh, yeah, boss, I remember that story about the Freedom Riders. Who was in that? Who was in that movie? And they say, yeah, good little girl. Good little girl. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use you as the poster child, and we're going to get you to divide yourself against your family, break up your family, have children out of wedlock, and then ultimately depend on the federal government. And if these rich white folk don't give you what you want, then make sure you stay voting for Democrats, because Democrats are for the poor and Republicans are for the rich. How do I know that this rhetoric, that this language is being spewed? Because this is what they were telling us when we were coming up. In schools, in our families, they said the same thing. Well, what's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican? Well, Democrats is for the poor and Republicans is for the rich. And I was like, well, that don't really make sense, because I see poor people that's Republicans too. They said, listen to me. Black people vote Democrat and white people vote Republican. So now, as an older man, as a 40-year-old man that has done my research and divested myself from plantation life, the Democrat plantation, and I'm able to do the research for myself and say, you know what? This don't align with God. This don't align with what black people went through. This don't make sense. Don't make sense even a little bit. This is weird. Republicans are the ones that even fought for the freeing of slaves. Why are we on the Democrat plantation? This makes no sense whatsoever. Nothing that we do is making sense. Why would I align with a gay agenda if I don't believe that marriage should be between people that's of the same sex? That's not same-sex marriage. That's called sodomy. Why are they continuing to change the words to try to make it seem like it's something that it's not? No. This is not joined together in the hands before God. That's called sodomy. No. It's not minor attracted persons. It's called pedophile. This is not unhoused. It's called homeless. But we want to change the words so that we can make it more palatable, so that we can embrace it. And every single thing that you vote for, you'll vote 99% for the thing that's against everything that you stand for, just so you can say that you're still a part of the plantation. And you scared to death that somebody is going to call you a sellout. He's going to call me out my name. And so I got to make sure that I stay connected to the culture. Scared to death that somebody is going to call you out. Hey, man, you a sellout. Ooh, he called me a sellout. Scared to death to do the thing that's in the best interest of your family. So now you're going to be friends with everybody that's against everything that you stand on. We not crazy, y'all. We're not crazy. They are. They're crazy, not us. We not the ones that's out of our mind. I know it may seem like we are because it's like, man, everybody is living this alternative lifestyle. Everybody is for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Everybody don't believe in you get what you work for, not what you think that somebody else owes you. Everybody is just for this. Everybody is for birthright citizenship. Everybody is for everything wrong in the community. Okay, wait a minute. Am I crazy? Because it'll have you thinking that you're crazy. But you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're not. You're not. I don't care how many videos somebody make about me that y'all ain't never ever seen in real life. Ain't even in this country. Not even in this country, but have so much to say about what goes on in black culture in this country. Crazy to me. Crazy to me. But you know why you'll rock with it? Is because they against the thing that I'm for. And so it doesn't matter if I'm right. The only thing that matters is the messenger. And that's what's so messed up about the culture. That's what's so messed up about black people, is that we pledge our allegiance based off of who we don't like instead of based off of what's right. They not experiencing the same thing as you. They not in the cities with you. You can't meet them. You can't call them. They don't even have a real phone number inside of the U.S. But guess what you're going to do? You're going to rock with it. You know why? Because they're against the thing that you actually don't like. And so it don't matter if the person that you don't like is saying the thing that's best for you. The only thing that matters is how you feel about them. Am I off? Is there something that I'm saying that's crazy? Is there something that I'm saying that's crazy? I don't think I'm off. I think I'm on. I think I'm on. I think I'm on. And nobody is going to speak on birthright citizenship. You know why? Because they don't want to admit that Trump was actually the person that fought for it. And that the people that y'all celebrating don't have nothing to say about it. Quiet. Quiet as a mouse. Quiet as a mouse. And ladies, y'all better be careful out here. Because if they switch up on me, it definitely switch up on you. Also, in this Supreme Court ruling, which I'm going to deep dive into it on the Anton Daniels channel, says on transports, the Supreme Court is letting states ban transgender athletes. Why is this even something that they have to do a deep dive on? Man, it seems like this stuff should be common sense. That they're banning transgender athletes from playing on girls' sports teams. The ruling comes amid a political and legal backlash against the trans Americans in the conservative states. As far as campaign finance, the court also lifted a Watergate-era cap on how much money can be spent, how much money political parties may spend in coordination with candidates. Disagree with this. That's why politics is so corrupt. Oh, man. So that was a series of Supreme Court rulings that happened today. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Country Boy Finesse says, should I put business profits in the market or in savings? Never, ever, ever, ever use savings. I'm saving for a truck and a trailer for the delivery business, and I made $4K so far on a side job. Always have your money working for you. Unless you are looking to make a purchase within the next month or two, meaning that it's not going to really matter as much about how long your money is in the market. If you are, put it like this. I'm going to put it like this, Country Boy Finesse. Once you normalize having a brokerage account, you'll never go back to a savings account. It's useless. It's meaningless. You have all of your money. You want to just make a habit of investing all of your money and then having access to it when you need it. That's really what it comes down to. All right. So I don't believe in savings accounts. Manny Plays PC says, I dated a gamer girl for like 6 months. Took my heart when you should have told her I love her more than my PC. When she left, says Manny Plays PC. San Juan says, please clip this segment of the Supreme Court breakdown. I got you. It'll be dropping tomorrow. Cutie Executive Suite MLE says, the Dusty called me a tether the other day because I had no socks on. I was wearing loafers. I didn't know that you were supposed to wear high socks with loafers. I thought that you were supposed to either wear no-show socks or no socks at all. I don't know. I said, oh, really? This is laughable. F out of here. Let me see. Diz says, black folk would have been behind the 2008 Obama if he fought against birthright citizenship. I don't want to hear about systematic racism or oppression anymore. Wesley Turner says, now they vote for communists. The plantation will soon be a re-education camp. 80 thoughts on Jamal Morton's daughter drowning is sad. I don't even know who Jamal Morton is. I'm sorry. And I don't want to review any case where a person is drowning unless it's a criminal to be held accountable for it. Let's see. What are we covering today? We got to get to the Comcast NBC Universal spinoff, but I'm going to do that last. Let's get to a couple criminals. Or what? Let me revise that. Let's get to a couple of people that are being labeled as criminals, that are being accused of being criminals. Does not mean that they are actually criminals. An accusation does not mean an automatic conviction. All right. But we're going to get to a couple different people. I'm just amazed how they were able to uphold birthright citizenship instead of abolishing it, understanding that people are using it for nefarious ways. I don't understand the Supreme Court ruling on that. It doesn't make sense to me. But what I think is common sense obviously is not common sense. It's not a thing. All right, y'all. We're going to start with Malik Beasley, and then I'm going to revisit Terrion Arnold because he was released yesterday. Make sure you guys let me read a couple of more super chats first. Tiff Money. I like Tiff Money says, my son Xavier was shot. I saw his body on the ground. My life has not been the same. I lost everything, but your work, Anton, has been a constant help to get me through it. Thank you. Aw, Tiff. I'm so sorry about that, baby girl. I'm glad that I'm able to get you through it. I'm glad that you're able to find your community in me and with the bag chasers. All right, I love you, Tiff. I'm praying for you. You can be healed. You can be healed too. I'm sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? Praying for you, love. God bless you. Beans and Greens. What up, Beans and Greens? Says Morning AD. Disappointed with the birthright citizenship ruling. Oh, well, have a great day. I don't know what to say no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know how you get people on board. I don't know how you get people on board, Beans and Greens. I appreciate you for supporting the platform, and I appreciate everybody that rock out with me. Thank you, Beans and Greens. Thank you for holding me down. 80 thoughts on Ja to the Blazers. I think that's a good move for Ja. I think it's a good move for the Blazers. And I think that both teams are happy. The Memphis Grizzlies, they gave him away for a pack of bubble gum. Let me remind y'all as we go through this. Released by the Lions, you're right, Fi Brown. Let me remind y'all and just keep y'all up to date on the show that I encourage everybody that has something to say, even if you're saying something negative, get it off in the chat. Get it off in the chat. Right? Anton, I hate you. Anton, you a sellout. Anton this, Anton this, Anton that. Get it off. This is the place for you to be able to say all of that. Oh my God, this and that, whatever. Shout out to y'all. Rock out. Get it popping. I am not opposed. I think that this is a healthy space. This is a safe space for you to get out your emotions that you may feel about me. I'm not opposed to you getting your stuff off. Hey, listen, you feeling some way, you want to let me know that somebody don't like me, you want to say, "Oh my God, I don't like it," or whatever. Let it off. This is a safe space. I won't block you. I'm not going to time you out. I'm not going to say get it. I'm not going to tell the moderators to get you up out of here. We don't do censorship on here. We don't do censorship on here. I don't mute nobody on no videos. YouTube may flag you because you may not necessarily be saying the right thing, but everybody knows I don't touch any comments on any video. So if you get flagged by YouTube, then you must have said something egregious. But get it off. Get it off. Get it popping. I welcome all of that. I welcome the hate. I welcome the love. I like it all. I love it. I love it all. You will not be censored over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. I don't know about my compadres over on After Hours in Room 9. I removed all of the censorship and I unblocked everybody, but I'm trying to get my friends that's on that platform to stop timing y'all out, but nothing that I can do about that. Stop saying that I censor y'all in the chat on comments. I don't. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't even read comments. I literally get. Let me see. Bro, I probably get a comment, especially on the Anton Daniels channel, once every 30 seconds. I have no ability, zero ability whatsoever to get to your comments or to read everything. That's why I prefer to interact with the people in the chat, because I can actually see the comments in real time, and that's why I like to making y'all part of the show. So it's very difficult. You know what I'm saying? I can't always get to everything. But I try. I try to look at most of the things that happen inside of the live chat. So hey, listen, stop complaining and just get your stuff off. Stop complaining. Just get it off. Get all of your big man energy off. Do all of that. Just get it off. Don't complain about it. Just talk hard. Oh, and trust me, listen, it's not just the guys. I like my horse too. Shout out to Jacina Harris. I love the horse. I love my horse. Shout out to all of the horse. How are you blocked if I could see your chat? How are you blocked if I could see you? If I couldn't see you, then that would mean that you blocked. But we all see it. Shout out to the horse. Get it off. Get it off. All right. Now that we've enabled the people to be able to say it and get it all popped off, I always wonder, like, why do people want to be around people that don't like them anyway? Anyways, let's go over to Malik Beasley.
Breaking news, former NBA players Malik Beasley and Ed Davis and 4 others are facing federal charges in a sports gambling scheme. Prosecutors say Beasley was bribed to manipulate his play in NBA games. Now authorities are taking a closer look at those games and the bets placed on them. ABC's Peter Haralambis has the details on that. So Peter, what do we know so far about how this alleged scheme worked?
Yeah, so Diane, prosecutors allege that these men basically took a professional sports league and turned it into a criminal gambling operation. Specifically, Beasley and Davis got to know each other when they were playing for the Timberwolves. When Beasley went over to the Bucks, the prosecutors allege that he basically planned to overperform or underperform in certain metrics, and he passed that information over to Davis, who then shared that with folks who would place bets through either online sportsbooks or traditional gambling operations. This all began, they allege, in January 2024. They listed at least 3 other games where he basically planned to overperform in things like rebounds or underperform in scoring, and then made hundreds of thousands of dollars. They even cite to one text message in this indictment where Davis writes, quote, "The only way you can beat Vegas is through sports betting." And this comes amid this broader probe of illegal sports betting in the NBA. At this point, there have been 5 total current or former NBA players who've been indicted.
All right, Peter Haralambis, thank you.
Thank you.
Breaking news out of the NBA. Former players Malik Beasley and...
If you are a person that is in the NBA doing something you're not supposed to do, if you are a person that has not got caught and you did it one time, don't ever do it again. Consider this your final warning. Consider this your final warning. Y'all don't have to refresh. I just unmuted it and I switched it from the music over to that. Consider this your final warning. You might as well go ahead and wrap it up right now. You might as well say, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do it. It's somebody that actually did a pretty interesting breakdown of Malik Beasley. I'm actually going to show this really quickly. And a lot of people is trying to figure out how he cheated or whatever. And I'm going to show y'all, all right? I thought that he did an incredible breakdown of what was going on with Malik Beasley. And so I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Why is that showing that?
Malik Beasley throw his NBA career away. All right, so if you live under a rock, Malik Beasley got indicted today. So the indictment mentions 4 games, but I want to circle this one against the Clippers over 3.5 rebounds. This shit was fucking insane. So Beasley gets his 3rd rebound with 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter. You know it's bad when you're boxing out. Look at that shit! He's boxing out Giannis for the rebound. And the little fella, well, he's not gonna guard anybody. The only thing on his mind is grabbing a rebound. Who cares that it's a 2-point game with 7 minutes left? This guy has no interest, 0 interest in playing defense. All he wants is the rebound. So now we're under a minute, and Beasley still needs that rebound. And he's doing everything he can to get that rebound. Whether that means not guarding James Harden, whether that means running in hard, and look at him here, he wants that board, man. He just can't get it. So now we're down to 24 seconds. Beasley is going to pass this shot up. Pat Connaughton is going to shoot a 3. Beasley from 40 feet out is going to crash the boards. So the Clippers are going to advance the ball. They're going to shoot a 3 here. 14 seconds left, up by 7, and Malik Beasley is gonna fly out of the coal mines to get this rebound. And then look at his reaction when this ball goes in. He's like, fuck, man. And then Dame is gonna be like, hello? The game is still going on, man. Wake the fuck up. It's not my fault. You're going to prison. And then we fast forward. The game is over. There are 8 seconds left. And Malik Beasley is gonna get the biggest legacy rebound of his life. And he's gonna cash his rebound over with 0.3 seconds left.
Yeah, this is pretty obvious. Like if you, this is actually one of the games that was cited in the indictment. And so if you look at the indictment of Malik Beasley, they cite certain games. So now people are looking at the court documents. They're going into the games and they're looking at what the prop bets were. And they're realizing, yeah, this guy is insane. What is he doing? Imagine this, y'all. You know what the funniest part about this? Imagine that you made $60 million in the NBA. This is the part that's insane about it, right? Imagine that you made $60 million in the NBA. 60. And during the time of the first indictment, because y'all got to remember that he got indicted twice. I think or he was being investigated twice. The first investigation, it was just like, listen, we can't prove anything. This is a completely different set of games, a completely different set of people that he was dealing with. They have text messages. They have all kind of stuff, right? Imagine being a multi-millionaire in the NBA and you're putting your career on the line for sports gambling. It's so bad. Check it out. It's so bad that he had a career year with the Pistons the year before last. We could actually use him as a shooter this previous year. He was up for a contract renewal and for a contract extension. He was in the middle of a negotiation for a contract. He wound up getting released by the Pistons, and now he's an outcast from the NBA, and nobody wants to pick him up because his reputation is ruined. He did another breakdown of another game. I'll give you another one.
So let's watch the first game that Malik Beasley threw. So the indictment lists 4 games. This is the first one against Cleveland, under 3.5 rebounds. So the little fella is going to get his first rebound 45 seconds into the game. And then he's going to get a second rebound right here. So now Beasley's in trouble. So what do you got to resort to when your legit life is on the line? You have to put your back to the hoop and do anything you can to not grab a rebound. But gee golly, Mike, what the fuck do you do when you have 3 rebounds with 3 minutes left in the second quarter? Well, I would probably stop playing defense. So Cleveland is going to have numbers here, and instead of transitioning back on defense to try and prevent a 4-2, Malik Beasley is going to stand there and legit, he's going to guard nobody. And watching back, some of the little shit is fucking insane. So you have all 4 players on Milwaukee right here in the paint. Where's Malik Beasley? He's not in the frame. And there aren't a ton of crazy plays, but you got a guy that is running away from the hoop. Look at this shit. But of everything in this game that is concerning, this takes the cake. So there are 25 seconds left. Cleveland is going to huck up a shot here, down by 9, 23 seconds left. And look at Malik Beasley, mid-shot. He's gonna fucking get it! the other way. Look at this shit, man. Now remember, if he gets a rebound here, his over hits. So what do you do when you don't want your over hit? You run the other way when the ball is in the air. You elbow Max Strus. Strus is like, what the fuck are you doing? And you hit your bet. So let's watch.
Oh, man. What in the world are we doing? You said you got to watch the other game when they played the Clippers. It was so obvious. Bro. Why are you getting paid millions of dollars to play a game? I'm just asking, listen, why are you getting paid millions of dollars? Yo, y'all are playing basketball. We playing basketball. We playing basketball. Y'all getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball, and you got a habit so bad that you decide that you just gotta see it through.
Former players Malik Beasley and Ed Davis, along with 4 others, have been indicted on federal sports gambling charges. Prosecutors say in 2024, while Beasley was playing for the Milwaukee Bucks, he was taking bribes to manipulate his performance. They say Davis would then place bets on the outcome of the games. So far, the defendants have not commented. National law enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter joins me now. So, Tom, tell us more about this new indictment and the charges that Beasley and Davis are now facing.
Right. I think a lot of people are wondering, hey, is this tied to the other NBA gambling cases and that illegal poker betting scheme that's been alleged? This is not part of that, though there's a lot of similarities between the two, and there's some investigative avenues here that I think are very common among all of the cases. And basically, it's just as you laid out here, Vicky. This is a case where an individual would either overperform or underperform. In this case, the allegation is that it's Beasley. He would pass that information to an intermediary, that would be Davis, and then these other individuals would place bets knowing potentially what the outcome would be. Not in all circumstances do these bets always pay off, but here it was definitely profitable for these individuals. They've been charged with that conduct, and that's really where the case is. You can imagine if you were to say today, well, Tom Winter, will you do 2 or 4 live reports? I can obviously change the outcome of that. And so in this case, that's what prosecutors allege.
And do we have any sense of how much time they might face if they are convicted?
Yes, you're up to 20 years here because you have the bribery component of this. And that's what's been alleged, that Beasley was bribed by these individuals in order to carry that out, plus the illegal gambling. Once you put a bribery into play, the potential penalties here could be quite significant. Could we get some cooperators in this case? That's something that we'll continue to watch throughout the week as these individuals get.
Yeah, of course you're going to get some cooperators. You know why? You know why you get cooperators? Because they don't want to go to jail. Ain't nobody trying to go to jail, big dog. Ain't nobody trying to go to prison. Y'all told me that he went live with Antonio Brown. I'll tell you who the guy is that's reviewing the video after I get done. Give me a second.
Nigga. How you doing today? Nigga, get off my... No.
Nigga, you on your own dick. Nigga, you going federal. Not me, nigga, you.
I'm chilling.
You not chilling, nigga. You just got indicted. How the fuck you chilling?
Somebody save me so you can see me, y'all.
Nah, nigga, we need to have a real conversation, like.
Belt the body. I'm going to belt the body.
What the fuck, Malik? I'm pissed, bro. You got too much fucking talent, nigga. Like, the fuck? This is not normal, nigga. The fuck you thinking, Lee?
Fuck you
Lee, how many
thinking,
kids
my
you got,
boy?
bro? What the fuck? No kids?
I got 2. 2, my boy. Nigga. How you doing today?
Well, first of all, Antonio Brown looks high. Antonio Brown looks high. And Malik Beasley is wild. They're doing a challenge. Let me see something. TikTok. Well, not that guy. You know what's so funny about Malik Beasley? You know what's so interesting about that? Oh, is he sassy? Let me see something. Oh.
I'm dead again.
What is all of that?
Shot. That was a good shot. Good shot.
What in the world is what is happening? What is going on with all of that? Come on, man. Hold on, bro. Hold on. What is going on here? Yo, man, listen, bro. I went on a video where Malik Beasley was live, right? I didn't know that he had went on a live with Antonio Brown. But let me tell you why they go on lives, okay? Antonio Brown lives on TikTok. Antonio Brown lives on TikTok along with a few other celebrities. And so they be basically trying to do challenges and begging people for roses and galaxies and, you know, vote for me, vote for me. I still haven't figured out how this whole challenge thing works. I don't know, because I was like scrolling and it was on somebody's live and it was like, somebody's like, you want to do a challenge? You want to do a challenge to, I guess, to somebody that had came on a live, and it was like, sure, let's do it live. Let's get it going. And I don't understand that. I don't understand the whole challenge thing. But Quentin was trying, let him call Quentin. I don't know if he's available. Quentin can explain it to me better.
Hello.
Hey, I'm on the live. I got a question.
What up?
How does challenges work on TikTok? Because I seen Antonio Brown and Malik Beasley was on doing a challenge or something like that.
Man, it's like your crew or your followers versus another one, and you just like send coins and type stuff.
What do you mean?
Like you have you can buy coins, like each person can buy coins, and like you can send like different things. So like, hey, my followers have like 50,000, and then the other person's followers are sending more money. It's like it's a dick slinging competition type thing.
So they basically be on there like, hey, send coins?
Yep.
What do they do in the challenge, though? Are they supposed to be doing something else?
It's like another person can't. It's stupid. Like they play like the quiet game. Like if I win, you can't talk. It's so dumb. It's not like the 50 quiet game or something. I engaged in it for like 6 hours one night. It was crazy.
I see Antonio Brown and them doing challenges all the time on the internet, on TikTok.
Yeah, man, it's yeah, it could, yeah. It's a time. It's crazy.
I seen Malik Beasley after he got indicted. He was saying, "Thank you for the rose. Thank you for the rose."
Yeah, you can send like roses. There's like spaceships and stuff. Yeah, it just depends on how many coins you got. Mm-hmm. It's so childish. This is crazy.
All right,
anyway,
thanks.
You all right, no problem. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right, bet.
This is insane, bro. This is insane. Some of the most talented Neanderthals that we have on the face of the earth. The best shooters, the best football players, and they over there begging for coins, bro. They begging for coins. Yo, you got indicted and the first thing that you think of is to go live? Hey, man, let's go live, bro. TM speaks. I am so confused. You made a career earning of $60 million. Even if you, let's say, for example, you hustling and you okay, yeah, you know what? I got I like to trick off. I like to do this. I like to do that. You're supposed to have a budget for that. And the budget for that is not supposed to affect your principal, right? So like, it's largely known that NBA players are the biggest tricks. But your trick money or your play money or your money that you use to buy the cars and stuff is not supposed to come from your regular salary, because your regular salary got to last you for the rest of your life. So you're supposed to take The money after the taxes, the money after the agent, and that's the money that you stash after you get, you get the family straight. Of course, you got to buy mama a crib. Of course, you got to make sure that you got a house. The regular basics or whatever. And then after that, the trick money is supposed to be coming from like sponsorships, or if you do a commercial, or you do a walkthrough, or you doing any of this type of stuff, you're not supposed to be tricking off the money that you get from your regular paycheck. I could tell you this. Let me look at this sassiness again. All right. I could tell you this. He playing video games now?
I'm dead again.
Where?
Name on the boat.
These dudes ain't locked in, bro. This ain't the Kobe era. We way past the Kobe era, bro. This ain't the Kobe era, bro. We in a different lane, a different lens, a different space. We got a whole nother type of player, a whole nother type of people out here. This is a whole different era, man. It's weird. It's weird to think about. But I will say this, though. I will say this. A, innocent until proven guilty. And then B, here's the other part that I'll say. He's probably, unfortunately, never going to play in the NBA again. Top of his game, top of his career, threw it all away in sports betting. Top of your game, top of your career, and you threw it, all of it, every last part of it away in sports betting. That was the end of the AB video. As far as what I've seen on X, is there some other video that I'm not aware of? Nah. That's pretty much it. It's messed up, bro. It's messed up. I don't like people losing their income, man. I don't know. I'm a softie for that. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Shout out to my girl, Leo Girl, says, good morning, AD, sending love and support. Thank you, Leo Girl. Wesley Turner says, thank you, love. AD, what do you think America's future looks like considering where things are trending right now? Do you think that things will get considerably worse? Yeah, for poor people and for the middle class. For rich people, it's a great opportunity. The only things, listen, the only things that people get worse for are for people that continue to be a part of this same thing that's going on. Things are going to get better for rich people. LeBron notified the Lakers he will play somewhere else. Yep, I heard about that. 456 Head Crack Music says, a shout out to you for the 50 ball. Shout out to you for the 50 ball. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. Says, AD, I skipped social media ads and used my budget on this super chat. I would like your critique of my album Before the Dice is Rolled. I wrote the lyrics but used AI for voices, old school flow. Link is in the music channel in the Bag Chasers Discord. Let me take a picture of this. I got an idea for a show like this, so maybe I can use you in this show. Bet, I got you. I got you, 456. Chris Cunningham says, would you also consider streaming on Kick? They pay a big bag too. Since the show is now 4 hours, thoughts? I don't know nothing about Kick, bro. I don't know anything about Kick. Let me tell you why I'm skeptical about going to other platforms. A, YouTube has been really, really, really good to me. All right, that's number one. Number two, I'm not interested in segmenting my audience, right? So I don't understand why I would divide my audience and say, hey, y'all go over to this platform. I don't know. You got to convince me. Jay Dreamer says, hey, D, I just had a thought. You should audition for the Sonic 4 as the Black Dr. Robotnik, a.k.a. Mr. Eggman. Oh, okay, you got jokes. Okay, all right. Okay. Now, I'm glad that y'all got jokes. I got some jokes of my own. All right. I just want to know that y'all can take it as much as you can dish it. That sounds crazy. Oh, that sounds crazy. Hey, I just want to know that you can take it just as much as you dish it. That sounds crazy. Terrion Arnold.
We'll get to all.
Let me find out what's going on with Terrion. I love a good Terrion. Like all kind of Terrions. Vegetarians, pescatarians. It's a good name. It's a lot of Terrions in there. You know, a lot of this stuff can be avoided. Like, this isn't even stuff that you should be involved in. This is not stuff that you should be getting caught up in. This is stuff that is easily avoidable. And that you just shouldn't be involved in. You shouldn't get caught up in. All right, I don't know what's going on with that. But let's see. We'll do it like theater mode. Let's just go theater mode. Skip it. Let's thug it out. We're going to go old school. We're going to thug it out. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
That in a moment, but we begin tonight with breaking news on Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold. He has just been released from the team hours after a judge granted him a $1 million bond in his armed robbery and kidnapping case. Fox News' Dave Spencer is live in the newsroom with more on that, the judge's ruling, and what else we learned in court today. Dave.
Yeah, Rip, a lot of moving parts here. The now former Detroit Lion, Terrion Arnold, along with 6 other co-defendants in this case, all face serious charges that could send them away to life in prison if they're convicted. However, the judge in this case says Arnold's situation is unique and it's different from his co-defendants because he wasn't physically there in the courtroom when the alleged robbery and kidnapping took place, and therefore he was granted a $1 million bond. Now appearing in that Florida court in a red jumpsuit with shackles on his hands and feet, Arnold listened to the case the state of Florida has against him. It's alleged that back in February of this year, Arnold had his phone, cash, and other items stolen from his Airbnb that he was renting in Florida. He's now accused of being the mastermind of 7 total defendants. Police say they uncovered a plot to lure the alleged thieves back to his place in Florida, where they were then confronted, assaulted, and held against their will at gunpoint. The prosecutors point to a text message conversation between a group of Arnold's friends and the alleged thieves hashing out a plan for the guys to go back to the house looking for girls, but the prosecutor and lead detective in this case say it was all a trap. And
So let me break this down for you guys, for those of you that don't understand what's going on and what's being communicated. They got robbed at their Airbnb, all right? This is the C student's perspective. They got robbed at their Airbnb. They felt like they suspected who it was, and so they went to the police, and they said, hey, Mrs. Officer, and they made a police report, and they wanted the police to go and investigate and find the people that took his money, because according to them, I think it was somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000. That's what he said. We don't know what it was, but that's what they said was stolen, right? So they go to the police. They do the right thing initially. The wrong thing is even being involved or around a group of people that you're going to be missing $250,000 or $150,000, whatever it is. But they go to the police, right? And so when they go to the police, they say, hey, Mrs. Officer, y'all gonna have to take care of this. And this is what's being alleged by the prosecution. The prosecution is saying that he said, hey man, if y'all don't do this, if y'all don't get this popping and hurry up, then I'm gonna take this into my own hands. I'm gonna get involved if y'all don't get involved in finding my money. And they say, well, what were you doing with that amount of money anyway? And he said, I was thinking about going to the casino. You was thinking about going to casino? As a matter of fact, I was, but I don't have casino money no more. Why? Because I'm missing it because somebody robbed me, and I think it's A, B, C, and D, right? And so the detectives said, well, Mr. Terrion, we don't think you should do that. We don't think that you should ever go after or even have a conversation with us about going after the alleged culprits. Let us do an investigation. And so the people that they went after, according to the police reports, were the wrong ones. They're saying these people ain't even do nothing. But again, what's being alleged is Mr. Terrion and his people said, hey man, bring him to me. I want him alive. Bring him to me. I want him alive. So how do you get these guys to go to a place to where we can trap you, pistol whip you? Where's my money? Where my money? Where my motherfucking money? What y'all do with my money? What y'all do with my jewelry? What y'all do with my valuables? What y'all do with my watches? How do you get them into a place, huh? Well, it's one sure bet. You're not going to get there. You're not going to get them there by saying, well, hey, listen, we got a million cookies. You're not going to get them there by saying, hey, man, we got a party going on, backyard party. Yay. You're not going to get them there with video games. You're going to get them there one way and one way only. Boxolitis. That good old classic boxolitis. So they sent their little homegirls, right? It was a picture of him somewhere. I thought I had seen a picture of all of the different people that had got arrested. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Here's the culprits. Here's the culprits right here. There they are. So, these were the alleged friends and family, and these were the little girls, apparently, that they're saying was involved in this whole situation. So the girls' jobs was to go up there and then find the guys and say, hey, listen, we got some box for you. Hey, y'all so fine or whatever. Now, if it was me, I would catch the red flags immediately and say, wait a minute, this don't seem right. These chicks is overly going together. Why are they both overly going at the same time? This is not normal. This is not my norm. I don't usually get girls that call me out of the blue, say, hey, Big Daddy, me and my homegirl want to come over right now. Come to this hotel room at this particular spot, and we're going to meet you there. Come over here, and we're going to meet you there. You know, whenever the box is overly easy, like it's trying to chase you down, it's almost like it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is weird. Because then what happens is you start making compromises and doing things that you wouldn't normally do because it's an abnormal situation. Go to this back alley, turn left, and knock on the door. And we know to never go into a back alley, turn left, and knock on the door. But what do we do? This is Quintavious. This is Quintavious. I'm here to see Laura and Ebony. I'm here to see Laura. You know Laura and Ebony? Oh, yeah. Laura, oh, yeah, we got them right here. Yeah, Laura and Ebony is in the back. Okay. So you go in, and then you see his homeboys, Tweedledee and Tweedledum over there, and they come in with the pistol. What are you doing? Put these on. Put these ties up. And you never even took nothing probably. And you say, oh, man, it wasn't my fault. I didn't take it. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. But see, what people don't understand nowadays is that all of your little text messages, all of this little stuff that y'all got going on, everything is now being, once they flip one person and they go and get his stuff, they're going to say, all right, so listen. So we got you for 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of robbery. You facing life in prison. And you know what's going to happen? Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and woman A and woman B is going to say, well, you know what? You don't even want me. Give me probation. I give you Terrion. Give me probation. A corned beef sandwich, and I'll give you this guy that's over here in the upper left-hand corner. Just give me probation. I'll give him to you for free. So all of the people that you thought was your friends, the girls that lured them, the people that was, because see, now you're not dealing with the person that's in the streets. You dealing with a person that believes that they have been harmed. They're a civilian, right? The streets has its own rules until people get arrested and they start telling, right? But you're dealing with somebody that has their own set of rules. So what happens now? They go to the police. Yeah, I got robbed. I got set up by Terrion and all of his friends and these 2 chicks. Well, what happened? Most time, crime goes unreported because guys be too embarrassed to say what happened, right? And so Terrion and all of them is sitting inside of the room, and he in one interrogation room, he in another room, and they got the door open for Terrion because they want to let Terrion know that Tweedledee and Tweedledum is over there snitching this. So they're going to bring in some sodas, corned beef sandwiches, tuna salad, the whole thing. They're going to give them the whole layout. You know why? It's just time to tell, baby. Because ain't nobody doing life for you. The girls ain't trying to do life. The guys ain't trying to do life. Ain't nobody doing life. We seen what happened with Sean Gathright. So, what's being alleged is that he basically was the person that, was the ringleader. He was the one with the money. Hey, man, go and get my stuff back, find out where everything is. He wasn't suspecting that the guys was going to go to the police and say, hey, we ain't take nothing, but he's definitely pistol with me, and this is why you want to get out the streets. This is why you want to get out the streets. You don't want to be in the streets because there are no rules when everybody is facing time. And if one person get caught, that's it for you. That's it. You were supposed to be at practice. You supposed to be in Detroit at Ford Field. Actually, you're supposed to be at the practice facility in Allen Park. Detroit Lions got a practice facility. How do I know about the practice facility in Allen Park? Because I had to drive by it every day when I was working at the plant. Yep, nope, corned beef either on onion roll or rye. Toasted. Thousand Island and mustard. Matter of fact, you know what? Throw a little bit of sauerkraut on there too. You're supposed to be in Allen Park, which is a suburb of Detroit, at the practice facility. I used to drive by it every single day. Yep. It's called the Meyer Performance Center. That's where they practice at. Yep, that's what it is. You're supposed to be hanging out, getting a massage at the practice facility. Yep, it's right there. Open it in maps. Yep, open in maps. Supposed to be at the Performance Center in Dearborn. That's where it's at. Why is it in Dearborn? Because that's where Ford headquarters is at, is in Dearborn. So this is where he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be off of Rotunda Drive, take the Southfield Freeway, go to Rotunda Drive, and this is where the Lions practice facility is. Covered, all of that. You're supposed to be hanging out on Rotunda Drive near the Fairlane Town Center, but no, you know what you wanted to do? You wanted to be in these streets. With the manicure lawn and all of that. No, you wanted to be in the streets. You wanted to be hanging out with the N-words. You wanted to be out here doing whatever you wanted to do when you wanted to do it. Guess what? There's consequences that come along with that. There's consequences that come along with being in the streets, buddy. Yep. Oh, I remember all of this. Yep, the Ford Engineering and Research Center right there. Oh, yeah, we remember all of this. All of this. All the Ford headquarters, we remember it all. We remember it all, buddy. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that now you, because see, this is where it was. I would drive by on Rotunda, and you go straight down, keep going down Rotunda, and you're going to be at the Fort Rouge complex, baby. Over there on Miller Road, right up the street on Miller Road. And this is where the magic happens. Go down here. And that's where the steel plant, you know what I'm saying, the steel manufacturing facility. And that's where we was at the steel plant. And I don't miss it. I don't miss it even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I don't miss not one part of this plant. I'm so thankful that I got up out of there. And that's the Fort Rouge Center, where they manufacture the F-150. And then right up the street is the Lions practice facility, and that's the blast furnace over there. Oh, man. This is where the training center is. Over here. So you will enter in through the training center right here. This little building right here. That's where the training center is. Yep. And across the street, you got the other factories. I don't miss it. Not even a little bit. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that Malik Beasley, Terrion Arnold was supposed to be at the practice facility, but instead he decided, you worked there before? AR's back? Instead, he decided that he wanted to be in these streets.
Thieves hashing out a plan for the guys to go back to the house looking for girls, but the prosecutor and lead detective in this case say it was all a trap. And the detective says the alleged thieves turned victims took the bait.
Oh, we always fall
around the apartment thinking that they're playing games, you know, that she's hiding or something like that. So he begins to look around the apartment for her. He ends up going into one of the bedrooms and he opens up a closet and there are two armed individuals in the closet.
You thought you was playing? Hold on, wait. So the people that got lured into the apartment thought that she was playing hide and seek. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. So wait. Y'all thought that she was playing hide and seek. Oh my God, I don't know where she went into the apartment. Let me go into the bedroom and check for her. Bro, you should have heard the saxophones. You should have heard the saxophones immediately. Hey man, this ain't None of y'all was like, you know what, this don't make sense. I don't think she's playing hide and seek. For whatever reason, she might have went out the back door. Hey, are you in the bedroom? Do you got your clothes off? Is it safe to come in? Is it safe? So you thought that she was missing in the apartment that she led you to, and you kept going? Boy, we really do lose every single cognitive function. Every reasonable, logical bone in our body gets thrown into the wind the minute that box come out. Every single logical bone in your body is just, hey, it's red flags all over. Read. People on your shoulder. Your phone is going off. Hey, don't go in there. God said don't go in there. Don't go to that apartment building. And you know what you do? You walk right into the apartment. Oh, man, where's she at? Then you be getting pistol whipped. I knew these. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have trusted you, women. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you. It's that box of light is flaring up. That's all that is.
And again, the judge ruled that he is free on a $1 million bond. Arnold's agent said that the ruling confirms that there's very little evidence in this case against Mr. Arnold. Arnold's attorney argues that his client never said a word when it came to the hatching the kidnapping and the assaulting scheme and was never near the victims at the time of the crime. But again, hours after all of this, Arnold was released from the Detroit Lions. Now, coming up at 6, we'll talk about some of the unique situations when it comes to bond that the judge laid out. For now, live in the newsroom, Dave Spencer, Fox 2 News.
That's so unfortunate. Let me see.
Yeah, Dave, we noticed obviously from that statement and also his reaction in court that there doesn't seem to be a bit of concern coming from Arnold. He was smiling ear to ear, hugging his lawyers, and then you saw that statement.
Well, that was great news compared to what his co-defendants faced. 2 of them have already pled guilty in this, and the other 4 have been reprimanded to stay in jail until this goes to a jury.
Well, we all know that everybody gonna be snitching, and the way that you know how we know that everybody gonna be snitching is because everybody's still in jail. Because everybody's listen. How do you get people from not telling on you immediately? How do you get people from not telling on you immediately? You got to get them out of jail. You got to have some bond money for everybody. You got to get a lawyer on the case for everybody. Otherwise, they're going to be singing immediately. Hey, man, don't talk to the prosecutor. Don't say nothing. Get them a good lawyer, get them a bond, get them out of there, and then we're going to figure it out after that. The minute if they got to stay in jail, but you out of jail, you got a bond. Everybody telling. Everybody throwing everybody under the bus, and they're going to make it easy for the prosecutors. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Again, I hope that you guys are enjoying these 4-hour live streams. 4-hour live streams. Shout out to Just Christian Black. Thank you, Christian Black. I appreciate you. Let me give you a round of applause. Cardona Jason says, it's the last Boy Scout all over again. AR is back, says, the Counterman's Treat or Rose Lawn Special. What you know about Rose Lawn? If you know, you know. What you know about that? Purple Haze said, like Pac said, I don't want it if it's that easy. Because it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. I'm going to have to teach y'all how to get out of these traps. We got to get to the money. Comcast. We got to talk about Comcast. All right. Comcast is spinning off NBC Universal. We're going to go to a couple different. Well, let's do this. We're going to go to a couple different videos to just introduce you to the conversation. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Sean says, Anton, who is your favorite athlete of all time? Well, see, that's different. Because that can span any sport. It can span anything. Favorite athlete of all time? I'm trying to think of something outside of basketball. Favorite athlete or favorite basketball player? Favorite athlete of all time. Favorite athlete of all time. Athlete of all time. Because my initial thought would be somebody like a Bo Jackson or something like that. Probably Floyd. Maybe Floyd. Yeah, maybe Floyd. I'll take Floyd. Yeah, I like Floyd. Floyd is a good pick. Good question. That was hard. I can't even think about it. All right, y'all. Comcast. Let's dig over to Comcast real quick. I told you, Tanya Harding. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Plans to spin off NBC Universal and Sky. It will be a new media unit and separating it from its telecom business. Let's discuss with Bloomberg's Kelsey Griffiths. Kelsey, this isn't the first deal in recent times that Comcast has done, spinning off the Versant unit. What has been the thinking behind spinning off NBC Universal and Sky this time?
Well, I was just listening to the investor call as Mike Kavanaugh and the Comcast executive suite gave us some updates on why they're doing this. And they've said, look, we have multiple businesses that are really just focused on different priorities. For a while, scale seems like the best option. Now that we've seen the media businesses and the broadband business get more competitive, it seems like it makes more sense to split those companies off and focus on them each doing what they do well individually.
Does some aspect of this also just have to do with the value of these media business? I mean, Versant has declined about 21% since it was spun off. I mean, might NBC Universal and Sky meet a similar fate, Kelsey?
Now, that's something that I think we're continuing to look at. Overall, Comcast has definitely been sort of struggling with their share price, especially over the last year. If you look at the broadband business, which is kind of my area of expertise, they've also been trying to look at how they can stem some of these customer losses. And yes, they are just deciding that a different structure makes sense here for the financial good of the business.
Move in the media world. Making some waves here. Our parent company, Comcast, just announced that it plans to split into two publicly traded companies by spinning off NBC Universal and the British broadcaster Sky. That company will continue to produce media and entertainment, allowing Comcast to focus on its broadband business. This follows Comcast's spinoff of other cable networks, including CNBC and MS Now, into a new separate company, Versant. For more on this, let's bring in NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung. Brian, good morning. Morning. Interesting news for us all to wake up to this morning as employees of this company, at least at this moment. What more can you tell us about the split and what investors are saying?
Yeah, certainly making waves in this building where our parent
company
is NBC Universal and its parent company is Comcast, but also making waves to the overall media industry and what has been another big story of a large change in the corporate structure of this massive media company. Again, what we're talking about here is Comcast saying that they're going to split off their media and entertainment business. That would be NBC Universal. That would include our news arm as well as the entertainment side of NBC, the TV shows that are produced by that particular network, as well as the Universal side of things, the theme parks, the movie studios. That spinoff will also include the British broadcaster Sky. As you mentioned, Comcast, on the other hand, is going to maintain its broadband wireless entertainment platforms. Obviously, people who have purchased Xfinity know and are familiar with that side of the business. But this transaction, the company says, will take about a year, so it's not something that's going to happen immediately. And I think, importantly, the company, Comcast, will continue to have a roughly 20%, it's less than 20% stake in NBC Universal after that spinoff is done. There's also some leadership changes. Mike Kavanaugh, currently the co-CEO of Comcast, is going to become the CEO of the new NBC Universal business. But Savannah, this is just an extension of what has been a big change, a big game of musical chairs, if you will, in the media industry. We have the Warner Brothers Discovery tie-up with Paramount and Skydance also teaming up. Netflix at one point was involved in some of those merger talks. And so, of course, there's a lot going on here. You imagine this is going to perhaps set up NBC Universal for maybe even acquisition down the line. That's something I know analysts are thinking about. But again, this is a merger that's not, or rather, this is a spinoff that's not going to happen immediately. The company's saying it's going to take roughly a year or so.
Yeah.
All right, let me look up something really quickly. Comcast's total debt is $94.6 billion with a reported long-term debt of $93.21 billion. Comcast holds approximately $9.47 billion in cash and short-term investments, resulting in a net debt position of $85 billion. Here's the question that we need to ask ourselves, and I know that we're getting a little bit more into stock club kind of conversations, but I'm limited. I'm not going to talk in depth the way that we talk in stock club. Here's the question that we want to ask ourselves, all right? Who gets the debt? Who gets the debt? The fundamentals of the business is important, but the biggest question that we have for ourselves as they spin this off into two different publicly traded companies. That means you'll be able to invest in the media side of it in NBC Universal, or you will be able to invest in the Comcast side of it, where the basics of the business is to continue to provide cable services. Who gets the debt? We ask the wrong questions. We always ask the wrong questions. Well, what does this mean? How profitable will they be and all of this? Who get this $100 billion in debt that we got? Because a lot of times when you spin off a company, one of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to shed debt, right? They're trying to shed the thing that's limiting them from being able to make more money. And a lot of these companies have taken on a massive amount of debt to make acquisitions or to continue to fund operations. So for example, Paramount has taken on a bunch of debt in order to buy Warner Brothers. If you look at the terms of these deals, it's debt heavy. Now, I don't know how they're able to leverage these asset classes. I don't know how they're able to leverage their media library, whether they're licensing it, whether they're trying to create a new app for it, of what's happening. But like he said, it is a game of musical chairs of people trying to move around companies and using accounting practices, as well as trying to figure out how they can leverage their assets or their licensing in order to generate more revenue, or like Comcast is saying, trying to get back to the fundamentals of what part of the business is profitable. Because you're always going to need cable. You're always going, and in a lot of cities, Comcast actually has a monopoly on distributing cable services, and they don't have a lot of competition. So if they wind up taking and distributing that debt while making the business profitable itself, and then ultimately that's probably going to get swallowed up or sold or bankruptcy or something like that. My number one question always becomes who services the debt? Now, naturally, people are going to say to Anton, should I invest in this? And my answer for both of them, NBC Universal, Comcast themselves, my answer is always going to be no. Because it doesn't align with the things that we look for, the 8 things that we look for inside of the Patreon. What up, Bonita? It doesn't, what's happening, baby girl? It doesn't align with what we look for inside of the Patreon, the 8 things that we look for when we look to invest in a company, right? And there's more competition than ever before that is heating up in these spaces, in the media spaces. Make no mistake about it. The most dominant player when it comes to media is Google, Alphabet. Alphabet is the parent company of Google, which is the parent company of YouTube. You can talk this Kick stuff. You can talk Twitch. Amazon is the one that had bought Twitch. They own Twitch. The number one media company is YouTube, bar none. It is the biggest long-form, most profitable long-form media company, and it has taken more eyeballs than ever before. Now, what I would worry about with Comcast, though, is even though they're taking on the legacy, being a cable company or whatever, I don't like the idea of a regular cable company. I like them being a company where they provide Wi-Fi services and things like that. I don't like them being a cable company because cable is dying and everything is moving towards streaming. T-Mobile is growing, but they're just not as fast. They don't provide as much business services. They are growing, though.
Yeah, I was just actually going to ask you about the potential then for NBC Universal to be purchased by somebody else. A lot of times.
Now, what they worried about, right, these people, because they're owned by Comcast right now, being spun off by NBC Universal, and they have all of these umbrella companies. What these people get concerned about is, how does that affect me? How does that affect my job? These news companies, these news anchors that's owning these cable networks and these big companies, when you start to get new CEOs and you have a lot of change, they then get worried about their job because they know that the whole industry is changing based off of the streaming game.
Happening when something is consolidated into the smaller company, that is potentially the intention down the road. Is that what we think here?
Yeah, and again, I think with regards to the Comcast corporate history, we have to remember that it wasn't long ago that they did another spinoff as well. Versant, as you mentioned, that is the current company that has brands like CNBC as well as MS Now. They were spun off, it was only about a year ago that finished. And so we haven't seen Versant get acquired by another company, but of course that is always the talking point. I mean, I think you have to rewind to the AT&T spinoff of Time Warner for a comparison here. In that case, it was also a cable company that rolled off.
A lot of these companies are too bloated, and we're getting back to a time where a lot of companies are getting back to the fundamental of what they did well, why people know them, right? Everybody don't want to have their hands in every single pot. And this is actually a business lesson too. I even was thinking through this because, whenever I see these mergers, it makes me question my own business practices. And I go through and I look at the things that are profitable and the things that are generating a lot of revenue and how much more should I continue to try to build up a brand and focus on other things or different companies that I may own, right? I call it, y'all all know, the cost-benefit analysis. Shout out to all of the bag chasers inside of the Patreon. So the cost-benefit analysis is basically taking a perspective and a snapshot of where you spend your time, what's the most profitable, and what you should be spending the majority of your time on, right? What generates the most profits for the company, and what parts of the company should you divest yourself from?
A substantial amount of media and entertainment assets, and Time Warner ultimately got bought up by Warner Brothers Discovery. Then they were purchased by Paramount, and now Paramount is merging with Skydance. And so you can just see how it's a game of football in some cases with media and acquisition.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving around of debt, a lot of moving around of a lot of pieces in this puzzle. I would personally stay away from it, and I'll try to do some research to learn more about spinning off these companies. And what it is. But whenever you see a changing of the tides, or whenever you start to see there being a change in how companies operate, or what they're focusing on, or if their belt's starting to get tighter, or if technology is coming up in what they got going on, you'll start to see them focus on the core business. They'll focus on the core of what they make the majority of their money off of, and they try to spin off all of the rest of it. It happens in the auto industry, happens in the media spaces. It happens on every level. They have no problem with spinning off a business or getting rid of something that they acquired so that they can limit their losses and they can focus back on the core businesses. When you start to see companies swallowing up other companies a lot of times, but it's no rhyme or reason, it's just becoming a more expansive company, that's usually signs that things are going really well in the business industry, in that particular industry. All right. Good show again. Good show, ladies and gentlemen. After hours is tonight, so that should be interesting. I might make an adjustment, a slight adjustment on after hours, but we'll see. And we focused. We focused. Had a great time with y'all this morning. As usual, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we out. Till tonight. Peace.